What? That's
Oh
very
yeah, they banned one of my friends for saying pee pee poo poo, like
Oh, is
unironically.
that Froggy?
Wait, they
Yeah,
banned
Froggy,
me for being Jewish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they banned you for promoting your Jewish,
agenda.
For being too Jewish.
For being too
Wait,
Jewish for that.
Dad, you can't ping. Oh, okay. I think ping Paul. By the way, can one of you? I'm playing
That
a
doesn't
video
work.
game.
That reap.
All right. So, what do you want to have a conversation about? Or I'll just tell you what I want to have a conversation about. So, I did more research into that happiness level thing that you were talking about, and I found some really interesting data that might actually benefit you.
Sure, we can take a look at that. I mean, there's also a lot of other events that have transpired in the last few weeks that are very.
Oh wait, Vox,
interesting.
before you go into that, Razorcore, what do you think about the Kyle Rittenhouse shootings?
That's what he was
Kyle-
alluding to, you jackass.
Wait,
Yeah,
Vox,
yeah.
shut the fuck up.
So Kyle Rittenhouse did what the federal government was supposed to be doing for the past 3 months. He is an American hero.
Okay.
I wouldn't
I
say
don't know
he's
if he's
a
an
hero,
American.
but
He was
that's
acting
a
in
little too
self-defense.
much.
He was acting
Yeah,
in
he was
self-defense.
acting in
I'll say
I
that.
was trying to find common ground. but I think he's still I think he's still like a Nazi fuck, but I think he was just
I don't think
killing
he's
those
a
people.
Nazi. What the
Don't
fuck?
ad hom the Nazis too.
Okay, my bad.
So wait, hold on a
Also,
second.
it's not the
A
federal
hero?
government's job. The federal government can only go into places to protect federal land unless they're invited in by either the mayor or the governor of
Yeah,
the
the
state.
feds suck.
That's not the case if Trump invokes the Insurrection Act, which I believe that this is a warranted abuse of such.
Why do you think
invocation.
this is an insurrection? Why do you think there's an insurrection going on?
I think, well, first off, these people are obvious. They're open about their revolutionary tendencies.
You guys can
they
conversate
claim that
about
they're
that.
a Marxist revolutionary organization. And they want to
Well,
tear down
if
the
you-
system.
Wait, I'm a revolutionary, but we're not doing an insurrection right now. Like,
I would
We need
argue
everybody,
that what's
but-
going on
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
burning
yeah.
cities and attacking federal courthouses, that these are forms of warfare, okay?
I didn't even know
And
Portal
that these people should be deemed as enemy combatants.
Oh, so
And
the
dealt
US
with
is doing
accordingly.
war crimes?
I'm sorry?
If you
Yeah.
consider this to be a war, the US is doing war crimes.
CS gas
No,
is
well, I mean,
Razorcore.
I don't know.
CS
Go on.
gas is illegal to be used on enemy combatants. It's against the Geneva Convention to use it in war.
Frankly, I think that the Geneva Convention is pretty gay, okay?
Okay.
But
But it is a war
in all
crime. It is by
seriousness,
definition.
look, in a
It is by
serious
definition a war
country,
crime.
in a serious country, these things would have been quelled on day 2. Okay, day 2. I'll say it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The first riot is on the rioters, and every subsequent riot is on Donald Trump. So,
What's a
Uh,
serious what's an example of a serious country?
China. China would
Oh, fuck.
basically. These people would not be around anymore. This would have been dealt with in the first few days in China, most likely.
I mean,
Wait,
Hong Kong.
didn't they have the Hong Kong riots go on for like a really long time though? Isn't it like a direct comparison we can make?
Yeah, the Hong Kong riots went on for roughly 3 months, depending on which ones you're talking about.
Keep in mind that the Hong Kong riots are they're a different kind of zone that is sort of under the purview of China, but they're sort of autonomous. So there's some legal ambiguity present there. Okay,
But even
so I'm
the
not
most
sure that's a
recent
good
ones-
example.
Even the most recent ones with the instatement of the most recent, like some form of like anti-terror legislation that has been enforced on Hong Kong. Even the most recent protests fall under that, so then they would be classed as a riot, like under that they could quell, and they didn't quell it for quite a while.
Well,
Either way, I'm gonna
you know
shut
how
up.
it goes.
Sorry.
So. Well, no, it's an interesting point, but I'm just saying that these things need to be dealt with, and I think people are getting sick of, constant rioting, constant mayhem in the streets of our cities. Kenosha, Wisconsin, being burned to the ground, quite literally. I mean,
That's quite hyperbolic.
it needs to stop. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. So, and political assassinations, which just happened last night. There was that Trump supporter last night who was murdered in broad daylight just for being a Trump supporter in Portland, Oregon. So,
Razorcore, do
Can
you think
you-
these Razorcore, do you think we could like solve these riots and quell the riots by just instituting like police reform?
no, I think that these people don't give a shit about any of that for the most part, and that they just want to cause mayhem and strife, and they want to stir the pot.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so should we just hang them?
I think that we need to bring the military in and deal with this.
Okay.
Okay, that's what needs to happen. There needs to be military vehicles going through the streets, cleaning these people out. Okay, either through mass arrests or if they continue through force, lethal force, if need be. So.
Okay. Okay. Vox, you wanted to talk to your friend.
Fox is server muted because of his dumb fucking mic being garbage.
Look, it's a perfectly legitimate use of federal and state power to
Wait, no, it's
to
not.
step in
No, it's not.
when
It's certainly
it is when to step in when local PDs, local law enforcement agencies are either swarmed or are basically defaulting on their duty to their respective jurisdictions. Okay, because that's really what's happening in Portland, Oregon right now is that the PD is defaulting on its duty to the city. Okay,
What if the
they
people
have
of
failed
Portland
their
don't want that? Like, what if the people of
Okay.
Portland don't want the police to arrest the
And
protesters?
so they're basically complicit. If you're, they're letting these people out every time they do that. It's like a LARP for these people. Antifa is LARPing as people who are purportedly oppressed and they're the marginalized and they're going up against the big bad system. No, that's fake news, okay? The police department is complicit with Antifa. They're playing this LARPing game where, we're going to pretend like we round up the rioters today and we have a few Twitter clips where we swarm them and tackle them and whatever. And then 1 hour later, these same people are let out. They're let out.
Wait, is Antifa LARPing or are they insurrectionists?
Like a joke. I mean, it's just a joke. The whole thing is a joke, and it's for show. Okay, so
or is Antifa?
Okay,
are they
it's a joke.
LARPers? Or is it an insurrection?
It's an insurrection, but you have to understand that the Portland Police Department is complicit in what this is. They're basically.
Why aren't you supporting the police? Why don't you back the blue? Why are you attacking the Portland police?
Because the blue doesn't back us. That's why. For the most part, I mean.
I do agree with that.
Okay.
I do agree the cops do not protect and serve. We can agree there, Razorcore.
I would say that it depends on the jurisdiction, but.
All right, I like this little. This is real
Depends
nice.
on where you are.
Okay. But I have a limited.
Depends
time
on who you are.
this.
I agree.
Am I muted?
You're not anymore.
No, you're not muted at all. What's up?
All right. So let's talk about the thing. So you said before that you believe that diversity in specific countries, or just countries in general. Sorry about that. So diversity in a lot of countries is a negative.
Yes.
All right. Do you still hold that position?
Yes.
All right. What if I told you that you're wrong? And I could prove it.
I've seen the data on this. I mean, first off, I can let me get into this for one thing, okay? So I've seen that the data indicating that diversity, when you control for all other variables that are seemingly relevant, is a mild negative in terms of societal cohesion and trust, right?
Correct. Empirical studies have found that increased ethnic diversity is associated with reduced trust. This is true.
To a mild degree. Now, when you let out one of the controls, though, IQ, okay,
totally.
There's a pretty significant negative to social cohesion when you consider IQ in that equation.
All right, so they actually found out that the real reason that trust is hindered is because of ethnic residential segregation that undermines trust. There's a study done by Eric Oslander, and it was proven. I can show you the data on that, but there's even more actually. So If you recall, according to the Analysts in World Happiness report, the one that you showed me in 2018.
Yeah.
All right, so the ratio of immigrants within a country has no effect on the average level of happiness of those locally born. So, with the 10 happiest countries having foreign-born population sharing an average of 17.2%, which is about twice as much as the world average diversity quota.
What is the world average diversity quota?
Well, that's just me saying they have twice as many diverse population on average. Like they are double the average.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you look at Denmark, I'm pretty sure it's almost like it's over 95% Danish or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's 90%. But we can look that up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that though that within the 10 happiest countries, like, is what I'm saying. Like, not all of them. I'm saying though that within the top 10 countries, the average of them is twice as much worldwide. You understand? That means within that pool of the top 10 happiest countries, they have double the diversity on average.
Compared to what?
The entire planet Earth.
What is? How do you measure diversity specifically in this context?
Well,
what is the metric for that?
The metric is: are you if you're foreign born or related to somebody who's foreign born? So not
all right. So a lot of this. Okay, I can see where you're coming from now. Okay, so there's a lot of movement of European peoples throughout the EU, because the EU is one sort of homogeneous unit at this point, and you can travel freely. Because if you're a citizen of any country within the EU, you can basically live and work anywhere within the EU. So there's a lot of travel back and forth. And a lot of the people who are living in certain countries, maybe Denmark, Poland, etc., Spain, etc., France, these places, they might be from other places in the EU. Maybe they were born in other places in the EU, okay? And so that makes them quote unquote foreign born. But I'm not really talking about those kind of people. You're talking about inter-European diversity at that point, which is not really a big issue in my estimation.
It's not that. It doesn't go off of that. In fact, do you recall? It goes off of like it doesn't. It accounts for like Muslims, things like that, like people who aren't regularly there, like Chinese people, etc. But the thing is, it's like so the quality of government institution plays a big part in the Nordic happiness, which is the one that you cited before, right? Nordic happiness being like number one.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So they actually like did like heavy research into why that is. And they've established that ethnic homogeny provides no explanation for the Nordic happiness. In fact, what they found is that the reason that their happiness is so high is because the institution. These institutions. So it has to do with their basically social structure of how their government is set up. Like they provide aid not just to their people but also immigrants. So it's just that they're better socialized. Like their government is just better at making their people happy. It has nothing to do with the homogeny. And I can link you.
I have a question. How do they parse that out exactly? I'd love to see that study.
So I'm gonna send you the study. This is a Google Doc which lists the entire study with details, and it's highlighted as well. As well as I did background checks on the actual people doing the studies as well, because I know how. Some people are a little sketchy, like, oh, well, this is probably just like a liberal or leftist propaganda, right? So I did research into the people who did the studies themselves, and one of them is actually a conservative who graduated from a conservative college. Her name is... Hold on. Nicole B. Simpson. She graduated from the University of Iowa, which is a Republican-based area.
You realize
In fact,
that doesn't lend any credence to your position, though, because Republicans are pro-immigration. Right? You understand that they're pro-globalism, pro-immigration. Both sides are pro-globalism.
That was just one. There's also researcher Betts William. He's just a medical physician. I think he's like a head of. I'm pretty sure he passed away though, but he doesn't have. He's apolitical, so he doesn't have any political affiliation, and he also headed on the research of this paper.
I mean, I'd love to see it, but I'd have to, because you can't just like, yeah. I mean, like I'd love to actually read it and look at it and understand it.
All right. Yeah, I posted it.
I don't want to just.
I posted it.
It's not very fair if you just throw a study at me and then, you know.
Oh no, I know it's not fair for me to throw a study at you, which is yeah. That's why I took segments of it and highlighted the important parts in level of importance, so that's easy for you to read. It can be read in under.
I'll post it in VC2 for you, so it'll be at the top. Razorcore, have you gone to VC General 2?
I don't have access to that.
What chats do you have access to?
I'll send it to you directly. Give me a second.
According to the role that I have.
But yeah, this isn't like a gotcha. This is more like, all right, so like I understand why you would come to that conclusion, right? Like it just seems logical to go to those conclusions. It makes sense. Like there's no fault of your own at that point. Like it's perfectly normal for somebody to come to a rational conclusion so long as it makes sense. But after enough research into the actual situation, they were able to establish that race was not really a factor, and it had more to do with the government social structures. Like, for example, you do know, like in Nordic countries, they're a lot more like when it comes to they don't put a lot of money into military. They put a lot of money into their education and health systems.
Okay.
Yeah, so the reason that their population is so happy is because they have reasons to be happy. Their reasons for not being happy are very limited. Like they're healthy, they have good education, they have strong communal values that aren't dependent on race. Like they like I don't know how much you know about the Nordic lifestyle, but like for example, like the Nordic lifestyle has always been painted on the back of it doesn't matter who you are or what your creed is, so long as you want to be one of us, we'll let you do that. Like with the Vikings.
Supposedly that's the case with the U.S. as well, but we can see how that's going right now. So,
well, the issue with the reason that the U.S. Happiness level is so poor is because we are bad at making our people happy when it comes to its government. Like we have to spend a lot of our money into our military more than any other country on the planet. These are resources that could have been used for other means like health care, social activities, better schooling, but it's not. We can't really do that because we're kind of a big target. So we have to allocate those resources that would normally go to making us a happier society into making us a safer society.
Based on what you've sent me so far, I don't see any evidence that they are counting out immigrants from within the EU.
Hold on.
Into this. Do you understand this?
Give me a second.
So
I understand. Hold on.
This is really important. This is super important. Okay, because it's not racial diversity here. It's ethnic diversity. So it could be the correspondents or the people who they're studying within this, the people who they consider to be immigrants within this study, are possibly just other EU citizens that are born elsewhere in the EU who are also white. Okay, I mean,
hold on. I'll find out.
You understand what I'm getting at here? Because
this I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
It's not racial diversity. It's actually ethnic diversity in this regard. Okay.
Give me a second.
So, really, the diversity that I consider to be especially troubling is diversity from the third world, which I believe is incompatible with Western civilization in general and white societies.
All right, so I'm pretty sure they did account for this, considering that they pulled in a lot of money for it. Let's see. But I would have to read this entire study to find you the details on that exact. Hold on. Actually, I think this is it. Hold on. No, that's not it. Give me a second. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the top 10. Pick one of the top 10, and I'm gonna do research into their population by race.
Okay, you want me to pick one of the top 10?
Sure. Other than Nordic, obviously, because it's so low. But actually, you could pick Nordic. I'll do Nordic also. Well, so you get the.
Let's do
So
Denmark.
we're gonna do Nordic.
Let's start with
Alright.
Denmark. Okay.
All right.
You do that? Okay.
Isn't Denmark part of the fucking Norse? The Danes.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Population by race. All right. 8% of their population, which is very low. It's the one of the lower ones. I mean, it is Norse. So
8% of their population is what?
immigrants, but it's not saying by race. Hold on. Oh no, person of Danish origin. Would they consider all of that region? Hold on.
Now, this is a quick glance at Wikipedia from what I'm looking at. It says 86.9% of Denmark's population, as of 2017, was of Danish descent.
Yeah.
The remaining 13.1% were of a foreign background. And of those people of a foreign background, about 36% of them are from people of the EU or of a Western background.
Yeah.
Okay?
Poland, Turkey, Germany,
Right.
yeah. Syria, but it also says Turkey.
Non-Western.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's still a high population.
85,000.
For Denmark. Even though, like, this is a pretty high amount for the lowest diverse country, though.
Pretty high amount of what?
Like, this is literally the lowest amount. It's still a high amount. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm confused.
All right, so Denmark has the lowest diversity, yet
Yes.
these numbers based off of race are still really high.
Wait, okay, where is it based off of race? Can you explain this?
Because it says right here, let's see, with the same definition, most common countries of origin were Poland, Turkey, Germany, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and Yugoslavia. So Polish, Turks, Germans, Muslims, other Muslims, more Muslims. Where the fuck Yugoslavia has. Obviously not Africa. I mean, I'm sure there's some Africans there, but I highly doubt. Oh, Chinese, Jewish. Hold on. Here's more. Arabs, Thai. What the fuck? Vietnamese. All right. Somalia. Let's see. Indian. ... Indian, not woo woo. Yeah, so they have people of not white living there at a high percent.
I don't know if I would consider that to be a high percent. So let's do the math on this.
I mean,
okay,
how many football stadiums can you fit of these people?
let's say there's
Quite a-
485,000 non-whites in Denmark, and the total population of Denmark is 5,822,000.
863.
So you have basically 8.3% of the population there who is non-white, according to that division I just did. Okay, so you have a 92% white population. Wow, I would love to live in an area that was 92% white, but but no, I live in an area that's 49% white. Okay, so
All right, so that
there you have it,
is that is 4 million. Wait, that's 8. What the fuck? Hold on, 8% of blah blah blah. This isn't how that works. Nah. Give me a second. Did you do the math? Because I'm doing the math too.
It's 92%, 92%
No,
white.
we're doing hard numbers, buddy. We're filling stadiums right now.
What are you trying to find out? You need to be more clear with me. What are you trying to find out?
I'm trying to prove to you that regardless of, hold on. So it's 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4,658. 4,658,000. Wait, no, sorry, that's a decimal. My apologies. Give me a second here. So it's 465,829, which is quite a lot of people. That could fit. That could.
Okay, it's only
there are
8%.
countries with smaller. There's countries with less people than that.
Okay, it's 8%.
Yes, I'm saying that is a lot. Would you not agree?
No, not when you consider the U.S. I mean, the U.S.
All right. First off, the United States literally operates on a different level than other countries.
What is the United States World Happiness Index compared to Denmark? It's probably
Wait, they have a similar percentage amount of immigrants, though. America has about 13.7% immigrants, and Norway is about 14% immigrants, according to Pew Research and statistics from the Norway site.
Legal immigrants or illegal immigrants? Because they're both immigrants. Are we counting legal and illegal, or just legal?
I mean, yes, we would be counting both, technically.
Yeah, because we should be counting both. Yes.
All right, so now that we know that,
80% of them are legal, so it's pretty similar.
Okay, if you consider that there's 20 million illegals in the country, that's probably correct. Maybe 25.
That's not really important to the conversation. There are illegal people everywhere. Not just
30 million.
All right, so although I will admit that this study does not account for race, and it only goes off of ethnicity. It still suffices to say that doesn't remove the fact that when they did more research into it, they established that it had more to do with the socioeconomic reasons for their happiness, and not necessarily.
Of course, it has to do with that. I agree with you. Of course. I mean, look, if you live in a 100% homogeneous society, but you live in, I don't know, take your pick of whatever shithole in Africa, okay? Take your pick. You think you're going to be happy there? Probably not. No, you're still living in a shithole.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. If you exactly, so the happiness, the only factor that is established with it is trust, and trust within like different races, depending on this again socioeconomic factors, in 1 or 2 generations, there's no more distrust. We could literally have aliens living on this planet.
If that were true, then what do you explain what's going on in America today?
What's going on in America today is that the socioeconomic reasons are putting pressure on specific races that cause this to happen.
There's not, like, in terms of socioeconomics, minorities are doing very well in America. In fact, there are many minority groups who are doing better than white people in America. So I'd love to hear the explanation for that.
Well, that's true, but the Japanese aren't really
Japanese aren't really discriminated against to the degree as
Not
other
just
minorities.
Japanese. I'm talking about other ethnic minorities, many from the Middle East.
Oh,
Pakistanis,
are we talking about
Indians,
them?
Nigerians. Okay, there's many ethnic groups. Okay, who do better than white people in America.
Yeah. I'm not saying just white people aren't really a factor in this.
It's
We're just
not
talking
just East
about.
Asians. It's not East Asians.
Yeah. But I'm saying that right now, let's just put it out there. Like right now, the issues are with black people, right?
Yeah, a lot of the issues are coming from black people right now.
All right,
Absolutely.
now the reason that that's happening is because of the system issues within America right now. That's why they feel like
system issues? They're doing great. Blacks are doing great compared to the rest of the world. They make like $40,000 per capita.
Yeah.
Compared to their contemporaries in Africa, they have 10 times the wealth or more. Okay, or 20 times the wealth. Okay,
it's not.
They live in fucking America.
Wealth doesn't
so they should be
happiness.
grateful. Yeah,
wealth does not equal. Right. Wealth does not equal happiness.
They're two different fucking countries.
Norway is not that. Norway is not that wealthy.
And wealth are very much intertwined up until a certain point.
Norway is not that wealthy.
Yes, it is. You get diminishing returns of increased happiness after $75,000 per year income. Yeah, it's called the hedonic treadmill, I believe. Okay. So.
All right. So here's the thing. Would you say that a black person makes more on average in America than a black, like anyone, like on average in Norway? Denmark.
I don't know the per capita income of Norway. I don't know. It's probably higher than 40,000, right? I would imagine, right?
All right. Average income of Denmark is 39,000 euros. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know how that translates to US dollars.
To real money.
All right.
Give me a second. All right. So let's see. The average income in America is $63,000, a little bit over $63,000. And in real money with euros...
Wait. Okay. Box, is that mean or is that median?
Median is more accurate. Right?
You should do median income rather than mean.
True. That is true. Medium income.
Median is $61,937, according to census.gov. Now, what's the black median income? That's interesting. We'll see that now. Okay, so this one's this is interesting.
They don't have a median income for Denmark. They didn't do the research into that. But in real American money, it's Denmark is on average 49,000, whereas America is in the 60s. So
okay.
So we're on average making more, but our happiness level is lower. So money does not equal happiness.
There's other factors at play. I'm not disputing
that. Exactly.
Okay. But you can't dispute the fact that up until a certain point, happiness is associated with wealth or income.
Yeah, to a degree. But I think it's more like
diminishing returns comes after 75,000.
Yeah. I think it has more to do with spending power than actual income, right? Because if everything's like $1,000,
I don't know anything about that in terms of this. But
basically, what I'm saying is like. Yeah, basically it's like what you can afford even with that kind of money, right? Maybe with that degree, but it's not important. We're gonna go on then because I don't want to get into economics with you because I don't think you don't know that much about it, right? Because
I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not very interesting. So.
All right, so when it comes down to it, the reason that blacks feel under pressure, pushing down on me, is because of other factors that are within the system that they're fighting against. And I think also
why are they fighting? Wait, hold on. The way you're framing this already is
No,
is
I'm
an issue,
I'm saying
okay?
it doesn't
That
matter.
they're
It doesn't matter
fighting
if these
against.
things are real.
Why are they
Doesn't-
fighting against the system? They shouldn't be fighting against the system.
Because they've been
That's the
told
problem.
that, because of either A, they've been told that there's a system to fight against that's oppressing them, or
Yeah, because they've
B,
been told
there is a
something's
system
wrong.
pushing
Right.
down on them that's against them. So it's one or
I
the
think
other, or both.
I think it's the former. So that's my position, is that it's the former.
I mean, regardless
They're
of whether or not
told a
it's
narrative
either,
that is fake.
yeah, regardless of whether or not it's real, is not really important to the point I'm making.
Okay.
The point I'm making is, if they live in a it's not because they're black that our happiness level is so low. It's because they're under pressure and the racial tensions are high because of that, not because of them being black. It's because
They have this perception of pressure when there actually isn't any pressure.
even if that's the case, which I'm not making an argument yes or no for that right now. We'll do that later. That's somebody else's debate.
Let me clarify something. I actually want to reiterate that. I'm not saying that blacks aren't under pressure. They have problems within their community. There's no disputing this. However, they don't have problems that stem from the broader system. There's no societal problem that's keeping blacks down. Okay, so I just wanted to reiterate that. How I said that.
I understand. I disagree with that statement, but we're not having that debate. Someone else can have that debate. My argument is: would you not agree that it has nothing to do with them being black in specific or their racial identity? It has to do with the fact that either A, from your perspective at least, they are being coaxed into believing that there is an injustice done against them, which causes this situation to happen, and not because of the racial differences, but because of manipulation.
I think it's both. I don't think we can reduce this to one single issue.
All right, so if it is both, would you agree with with all the information that I've laid out so far, that it's more so has to do with the stress and not so much to do with any racial markers?
See, you're asking the same question, but you're framing it now like, so you do agree this? You're trying to pull a fast one on me right now.
Well, I'm asking you,
is identical to what you just said before.
Yeah, I know, but putting that into account, would you not agree that it has more to do with the tensions rather than the race itself? Currently.
No, because I'll ask you, where do the tensions come from? They come from racial differences. There wouldn't be any tensions if there weren't any racial differences. That's evident. That's actually deductively true. There can't be racial tensions if there aren't racial differences.
Wait a minute.
What are you getting at?
They could have done this, if this was being if this is a manipulation, they didn't have to do it with race. They could have done it with anything then, right? Right?
Where are you going with this?
I'm saying, it doesn't have to be about race. They could have created tensions.
You're talking about
religion.
That's irrelevant now. This is all
it could
about
have been, they could have literally just done the same manipulation with religion, couldn't they?
No.
Why not? It's done that before.
When?
Crusades. The Inquisition.
Where do you get? I don't understand where you're going with this. All the system. Okay, you understand that this was in the making. I don't know, what. You have a situation in which a population is acting piss poorly. They have serious social problems. Okay, and those social problems manifest in them getting shot to death by police. We have a social media apparatus now that allows us to document and video record everything that basically ever happens. Okay, this information can be spread like wildfire. Okay, and you have people who basically think that cops are these white supremacist, racist killers who are just out to kill blacks. That's what they love to do in their job.
True.
When it's absolutely fake. It's absolutely fake news. Okay, and you're delusional if you believe this, and all the data that comes out substantiates what I'm saying. Okay, go look at the Blake details that just came out, the Kenosha case from 5 days ago. Okay.
Hey, we all believe that. Wait, who's Jacob Blake?
The guy who
God.
precipitated the Kenosha riots because he was shot 7 times by the police officer.
Yeah. What details? What details came out about his shooting that you think justified it?
that he was armed and had a knife and lunged at the officer, and that also he had a
Wait, what do you mean that
he had
he
a pretty
lunged at
substantial
the
criminal
officer?
record, actually. So,
Have you watched the video?
do you understand
Wait,
that video
wait, this
gives
is-
you one
guys,
angle that you can't see what happens on the other side of that corridor? You understand that, right? You can't see what
Wait,
happens
do you
on
have
the
a
other side of
bet?
that corridor. Okay?
If you have a better angle, can you please like send it to me? I would love to see an angle that shows him lunging at the cop who was holding onto his shirt and just shot him in the back while he was leaning into his car.
That's what they announced, that he was armed and made a move towards the cop.
Oh, so you haven't
that,
seen a video that contradicts the one that
you haven't seen a video that substantiates your claim.
Wait, no,
All
I
right.
have seen a video. And
Please
it's
stop.
leaning.
Jeez,
What do you mean?
Again, like you're
All
the
right,
one making the claim that there's a white supremacist, racist killer, okay, who just killed a black guy, all right, who's also a police officer, okay.
Wait, yeah.
And-
So Jacob Blake.
And
so
you
Jacob
didn't
Blake
see
was-
anything that would substantiate that.
What do you?
And I'm saying
so
that.
Jacob. So
I'm
no, I
dismissing
did see
that.
it. I
No, you didn't. You saw one
what do you mean?
angle that doesn't.
What
You
is
can't
this
see
no?
anything.
What is
from.
this no
Okay?
you argument? No, Jacob Blake was
Right. So you're the one
leaning
making
into
the
his
claim.
car.
You have
He
to
was leaning
substantiate
into.
the claim
Wait,
you're
I
making.
am.
You
I
have
am?
zero evidence to substantiate that
Are
claim.
you just gonna keep?
okay?
Are you just gonna keep saying like? Are you trying to like speak it into existence? Like, if you hope you keep saying this over and over again, then like the video that like is circling the internet's going to like disappear. Like, is that like what you're
What
hoping
is
or
in
something?
contention right here? Let's calm down for a second. What is in contention here?
You guys
We
go
can
ahead
really
and argue this while I look data.
I don't
while you
know
guys
why
have
you're
this
trying to
stupid idea.
defend a cop who, when Jacob Blake was leaning into his car and the cop was holding on to the back of his shirt, just started firing shots into his back.
You have to understand that these
Yep.
cops don't do that off the cuff. They don't do it for no reason at all. They do it because they're in
Then-
defense of their life. And honestly, look at what the video, even from the video that you point to, we know two things. We
Okay.
know he was resisting arrest or detainment. Also, we know he was carrying a knife.
Is that a capital?
Okay.
Is that
That's what
wait,
we
can
know.
you kill people
okay?
in America for resisting arrest? Is that a punishment that was punishable by death?
He was carrying a knife and he was going to his
He was
vehicle.
not okay. First off, you don't even know your own fucking talking points. He was not carrying a knife. Apparently, there was a knife
He had
in
it
his
in
car.
his hand. Go look at the video. Even your video shows
He
that.
had it in his hand.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Okay,
You really-
guys.
You're
all right,
disconnected from
calm
reality. That's
down.
not even your talking point. That's not even the talking point you're supposed to have. It was in his car.
What are you doing?
It's in his
Who
hand. I
is
can
the
really
one
see it.
that's derailing the? Wait, huh?
I'm sorry.
Who's
You cut out.
who's talking that's derailing this?
My bad. I'm muting myself.
That's all right. It's all right. I was using you as like a buffer so that I could research more top 10 happiness index people. So Canada is very diverse. Would you agree? Possibly equal to America in terms of ethnic diversity. I mean, it's basically America light. Would you not agree with that?
I'm unfamiliar with the demographics there, but I would imagine it is very diverse at this point.
Yes, they are within the top 10 of happiness on the happiness index.
Okay.
Yet they have a large racial diversity.
Okay. What's your point?
So what is your reasoning for why isn't Canada getting spilled over like this?
You understand what outliers are, right? Like when you have a data set, and I'm pointing to a general correlation, one that's probably fairly moderate, maybe even a weak correlation, okay? That I'm not even hinging my argument on. And you're saying that my argument is now not justified, it's completely been subverted by whatever counterpoint you're making right now, that Canada's diversity is and happiness is indicative that everything I say is wrong. I mean, that's just, come on, like it's an outlier, and you seem to be stuck in this happiness index thing for some reason.
All right.
Like,
so
from what we were talking about earlier,
the happiness index
my
is the
claim.
one
I don't
that
know, like
is...
when you have a country that's 92% racially homogeneous, okay, and they're in the top 3 for happiness. That sounds like that substantiates my claim. You're saying that, well, maybe it's not actually.
No, because the top 10 already puts into account that it has to do with the socioeconomic reasons. And
I already conceded that.
Diversity.
I already said that. I'm saying that it plays one part. You understand that when you consider something as broad as a happiness measure on the level of countries, that there's probably many, many, many different variables at play that determine relative levels of happiness. It's not just one metric. It's not like you can point to one thing.
Listen.
This accounts
I
for
know
all
what
of
you're.
it.
That's great. I know what you're saying. All right, I understand what you're saying, but it's not really that important to your actual argument. See,
Right. So it's not very important to my actual argument. Then.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know why you're saying it.
So what's the big deal? You're the one who keeps bringing this up. I'm saying that I'm pointing to general trends. Okay.
Yes, you're saying that before your claim was like this was a while ago that you believe that the reason that you want segregation is because look at Norway, Finland, and Denmark. They have very low diversity and they're very happy. That was your argument. However,
it's part of my argument.
There are many other, like Canada, New Zealand, Sweden. Like these are countries that have
so it's probably
over
like
2 times. These are also in the top 10, and they have 2 times, like roughly, on average, more diversity than other countries. So to say
it's weakly correlated.
racial division is not a correlating factor to a happy country. The research shows that the reason that they're happy is because of their socioeconomic reasons and how they treat their population.
Dude, I just said that. I said that socioeconomics matters more than the relative homogeneity of the country. I agree with you.
Exactly. So would you? Okay. All right. So now would you say that having a racially divided dividing countries by race is no longer as important to you?
No, it's still of paramount importance. Well, first off, I'm not actually dividing countries by race. I'm an ethno-nationalist. I prefer to divide countries by ethnicity so that all ethnicities can have their own homeland. Right. Okay? Every group who aspires to self-determination can be granted their own homeland.
All right. Okay? So the studies show, if you're talking about ethnicity, the studies do still, like the original study I gave you still holds water then, right? The one that explains ethnicity rather than race? Because you did say that race to break that part, but now that
doesn't mean that race is
ethnicity, would you say that
racial diversity is a problem? Okay, I'll put it out in certain steps for you. Racial diversity is a problem. Okay, ethnic diversity is a problem. Racial diversity is a worse problem than ethnic diversity. Okay, because if you consider European peoples, for instance, Danish people and people from the Netherlands or Norway or Finland or Poland, take your pick. Okay, these people are all fairly similar genetically. I mean, they have certain genetic differences, okay, certain cultural differences, and so the degree of inter-ethnic, they'll have a little bit of inter-ethnic strife, but not too much. They can still get along. Okay. If you consider bringing in the third world with who are entirely different people, different races, okay, different value structures and religions, etc., cultures, you're paving the way for problems down the line. You're paving the way for problems, okay? And it's exactly what's going on in France right now. Look at what's going on in France, okay? If you go to Paris, you can't even. I mean, you have giant no-go zones, and almost all of Paris is a no-go zone at this point. I mean, there's riots like you wouldn't believe. Okay,
France isn't a real
going on there, constant strife, and it's because of all the African immigration that's going on there. Okay, so
what evidence do you have to support that claim?
What do you mean? What evidence? Okay, I just pointed to all the strife that's going on in France. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, like, how did you come to that conclusion?
Like I said,
what was your thought? Was that your whole thought process? You just went, "Oh, they're really upset and they're rioting. Must be the blacks," or was there like more to it than that?
Look, you have giant no-go zones in many, many major cities in Western nations all around the world now. You have them in Sydney, Melbourne. You can't even go to these places safely. You can't go to Malmo, Sweden safely. Okay.
Yeah, I get that, but
why do you think that is? It's because of all the immigration that's happened there. It's because of the Middle Eastern immigration. You have these massive rape gangs that are, and the establishment covers them up in Sweden. They cover them up in the UK. There's that huge Rochester
I can
sex
actually
trafficking
debunk that entirely.
scandal
All right.
that happened.
One moment, somebody. All right. I will say that like our conversation has kind of derailed, and I think I've exhausted all of my points. I will still continue it, but who was it that said that they have experience with this particular topic?
Me.
Alright.
I assume you're talking about the Muslim rape gang thing.
Yeah.
Or the Muslim grooming gangs. Yeah. So that all of the reports on that were based on were actually published by far right anti-immigration places. So
Oh, so
incredibly
they're
biased.
immediately wrong because they're
No,
published by people
if
you
you'll let me
ideologically
finish,
disagree
if you'll
with.
let me finish, right? So, one, in these things, they also basically removed a large segment of the way they defined grooming was kind of like bizarre and doesn't fit any legal definitions, which meant they got to exclude an entire amount of the data sets. And of the data set they picked, they only accounted for 2.8% of all convictions of any form of child sexual exploitation. So if you want to build an entire thesis on 2.8% of confirmed, like tried and convicted child sexual exploitation cases, then you're free to do that. But like, you can understand how that is so incredibly stupid and naive that
So
it
you're
doesn't even bear thinking
so
about
you're
it.
saying that they cherry picked a lot of data to make that
They used
claim, right?
2.8%. Sean actually did a great takedown. If you give me a minute, I can find you like a little diagram he did. I'm not
So
sure
long
if
as
you'll
it's
care.
easy to read.
In
Yeah.
Do I get to?
In fairness, we don't know how big the real percentage is. That's what needs to be found out.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I think
don't
he
know what
would.
study you're referring to. Also,
I
don't
think
know
he
what
would
you're
care.
referring
Like he might be a right winger, but I'm pretty sure that if we're able to convince him, like if we're able to prove empirically that something is false, that he would at least acknowledge it.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Yeah, what study are you
No,
referring
Zach,
to? I mean, there's numerous
Foxy absolutely would not
articles that have been
acknowledge any
written
of
on
that
even
because
Forbes.
he blatantly
Even like
lied
you
about
say, wait, hold
everything
on,
to
this
do
is
with the
really
Jacob
important.
Blake shooting.
Wait, who's talking right now? I need to. I'll you talk in 1 second, okay?
Yeah,
you guys are
whoever
ignoring
is, like
like you guys are saying that it's far right bias that is clouding what I'm saying right now, clouding the credibility of what I'm saying.
I don't think it is.
Okay?
I don't
No,
think
no,
it is.
okay. But it's look at Forbes.com published this article on why did British police ignore Pakistani gangs abusing 1,400 Rotherham children because of political correctness. They published this 6 years ago. Okay,
Hang on,
when this was
Yeah,
happening.
that story's not controversial. That just happened. We can talk about like the figures and like the extent to which this is happening, but that particular story within Rotherham happened. That's just mainstream news.
Thanks for conceding.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
We're not arguing. We're not arguing that governments don't fuck up because, like, that's stupid to make that.
If you didn't import Pakistanis into your country, then you wouldn't have Muslim rape gangs.
Now,
that's really what it comes down to.
I mean, yes, you wouldn't have Muslim rape gangs if there weren't any Muslims, of course.
Sure.
Genius.
Absolutely. Yes. You're catching on.
They would just be regular rape gangs.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of those going on. Yeah.
Maybe. So like, here's
maybe you don't actually know because you haven't actually heard a story on it. Okay, and the data is not in your favor here. You're just speculating about possible crime that doesn't actually exist. So.
Well, no. So there you go. Sorry, the first one's a bit cropped. So there's a fun little diagram. The red box being the so-called Muslim rape gangs of the subsection that the studies were actually done under.
Okay, hold on. I need to see the study. If you guys are going to start pointing studies at me, I need to be able to see it. So get me into a channel where I can see it. Okay.
All right. So this is a visual.
Okay?
Hold on. I don't know this study, so I'm gonna ask some questions about it too. So this diagram is to represent 22 offenders per year versus 6,600 offenders per year.
Yes.
What is this supposed to represent?
Okay, so this is like a wee little diagram. So the 6,600 is the total number of, I'm going to abbreviate to CSE, which stands for child sexual exploitation, right? So there are 6,600 CSE, I think they're convictions per year in the United Kingdom. And then those little boxes. This is actually an excerpt from the video, and this.
Okay,
is
wait.
like,
Can I just reiterate one second? I'm just gonna cut you off for 1 second. So just to clarify, because I want to get down to the bottom of this. There's 6,600 child sexual offenses that happened in the United Kingdom in what year?
Every year, yeah.
Every year on average. Okay. So now, who is the ethnicity of people and or race of people who are committing these crimes?
About 86% white.
They're 86% white.
I
Let me see
believe
that.
it's something like that.
Which is similar to the proportion of white people within the UK.
Yeah, and these are convictions. These aren't because it says offenders. If it was for charges, it would be much higher than this, first off, and also wouldn't be saying offenders. So this is convictions.
I must say, whilst this does put things into perspective, I do think that it's a little bit of a sidestep to look at like all child exploitation when like the whole point is that this is a specific thing and there are certain cultural circumstances, there are certain like circumstances within the police department that still need talking about. It's not like you can just hand wave it away because what about these?
No. I'm not trying to do a whataboutism. I'm trying to debunk the idea that there are these massive Muslim rape gangs that are going on.
Alright, so what does the red box of 22 offenders represent?
Rape gangs.
What does the 22 offenders per year represent?
That was the tiny little subsection of the ones that the study that is most recent or like most equivalently used at the time. I'm not sure about now, but at the time was the most common study cited for the defense of the claim about these Muslim rape gangs.
So I'm finding a counter study that says that a 2011 analysis by the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Command of 940 possible offenders reported for street grooming and child sexual exploitation found that 38% of the offenders were white, 36% of them were Asian, 32% were of an unknown ethnicity.
Is that the Quilliams study?
This is the 2011 analysis by the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Command.
Well,
I think that that's online.
One sec, Vox. Okay, so 10 more minutes on this, and then Paul needs to, or Paul is going to debate him on the great replacement. Okay, finish it up.
All right.
I've set a 10-minute timer.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, so that's for online. See, there's this thing called reality where there's also sex offense happening. Online.
What are you talking about? Wait.
You said that's online, wasn't it? Is that not what you
Oh my goodness. I'm going to reiterate this because that's a complete and utter straw man. So I'm going to do it again, okay?
All right, go ahead.
So there's a study that came out in 2011 by the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Command Agency. 940 possible offenders who were reported for street grooming and child sexual exploitation found that 38% of them were white, 36% of them were Asian, 32% of them were of an unknown ethnicity. Okay,
right,
so you have 68% of the suspects, the perps here, who were non-white. Okay, 68% of them were non-white.
I mean, yeah,
and when you consider that these people only constitute maybe 10 or 15% of the UK population at most, maybe it's like 30% now. It's a huge disproportionate number. Okay,
unknown ethnicity could mean all white. If it's unknown, that could be white.
Yeah, so
why wouldn't they just say white then?
Because it's unknown.
Yeah, that's actually true.
How could it be unknown? Okay, well, okay.
Yeah. Unknown
means
that they
if someone's white? I don't know.
Unknown means wait. Did it say that it was convictions or that they were found? Were these convictions?
These are a 2011 analysis of 940 possible offenders reported.
All right, so that means that they've never found out who they were.
Okay.
So,
Razorcore, can you link these studies somewhere so we can take a look at them?
No one's linked whatever study you linked. So.
Yeah, all that jazz. You 14-year-old.
Yeah, I'm trying to fucking find it. Okay.
That doesn't mean you don't have to link yours, though.
Yeah.
I can't link mine. I don't have permission to link in any channel. So.
Why don't
introduction?
Okay.
Why are you guys? You're so cringe with these rolls.
Hang on. I'm trying to find the. Let me just find it. Is this it?
All right. So while this goes searching,
Hang on, I have to find it.
all right, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, sorry. It's like I'm trying to find through a fucking massive data to find the like one specific thing.
All right. So I am going to concede some stuff to you while we wait. Then. So I will say that there are certain cultures out there that are shit. Now, this isn't an excuse that you're right about the Muslim thing, because like I said, we don't have enough data right now. We're getting that data. However, there are horrible like cultural things, like the death, like literally in Mexico they worship death, like actual death.
Okay.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, they kill people for her.
Really?
And they
That's not
actually,
nice, dude.
in the cartels, they open up children while they're still alive and rip out their hearts.
Based.
All right, cringe. Anyway, so the point. So like, yeah, there are some terrible cultures out there. That's not disputed.
True.
Libraven, they're all individuals, okay?
True. Sorry. Go on.
It's okay, Liver.
Now I'm the type of person who I say fuck culture.
Real quick, does anybody have Excel? Because the link's in a fucking Excel document, and I don't have Excel.
I don't either.
No one does.
I do.
That's amazing. Let me.
I have Excel if you need.
Hidden knowledge.
I have
don't want you
Excel.
to know about it.
Can't you just open it in Google Docs if it's the file type?
Oh fuck! Does that not work? God damn it! Hang on. Hold on. Don't worry. I'll figure this out.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh wait, no. Is there a PDF? Oh, don't worry. I found a PDF. Yeah. Don't worry. I found a PDF. It's all okay.
This has been a roller coaster of emotions, all that jazz. I just have to say. But I've been with you. I've been with you every step of the way.
And you gotta hold my hand while I post nudes.
I'll tell you what a roller coaster was. A roller coaster was when Razorcore tried to speak a video on the internet out of existence, and then like got his own talking points wrong about like where the knife was that Jacob
Here we go.
had in his possession.
Oh my god, who cares? We'll worry about that tomorrow.
I was
Speak
actually.
it out of existence, yet I acknowledge the video that you're talking about.
Wait,
and
no, you literally told me I didn't see
Okay.
it. I was lying.
You didn't see it. If you didn't see the knife, you didn't see it. So.
All right.
Okay.
Send me a link and I'll make a determination.
Can you post a video of where we can see the knife?
I was
Give
gonna
him
say,
permission to post links and he will.
Twitter video of
permission?
Jacob.
Someone just give him verified.
So I was actually slightly mistaken. The conviction rate. Thanks, Box.
Hold on.
Who's listening to shit music?
Okay, keep going, Jazz.
Okay. So I was actually incorrect. It's 80.9% of the convictions were white.
So only slightly disproportionate. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, hang on. I need to just quickly scroll down. It's a PDF, so I'm just going to take a screenshot.
This? Oh, that's fine too.
It's a 73-page report, so.
Which topic are we on exactly?
This is the Muslim rape gang stuff. So yeah, there's the entire report.
Sure. This is of all sexual offences, though. So this isn't just rape
Oh,
gangs.
God fucking damn it! Is this not CSDs?
So, in August of 2018, SVT reported that 58% of the men convicted of rape in Sweden and attempted rape over the past 5 years were born outside of Europe.
Post the source.
So, it means, okay. SVT.
Give
Divergence
me,
Television.
Wait,
let's see.
doesn't Poland
then-
have like one of the strictest fucking laws when it comes to what they consider sexual misconduct, though?
I'm talking about Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden's
Alright.
definition of rape is much more liberal than other countries, but still, post the link.
Yeah. Like apparently, like if you bump into a woman and she views it as a threat, it could be considered sexual.
This is the
misconduct,
future
so-
feminists
You know,
want.
it's funny, the leftists, okay, so the leftists are like, oh, wait, we have to expand the definition of rape to mean anything that a woman feels is uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, we can't do that when we see that.
No, leftists.
60%
That's
of
not
women
leftist.
from,
That's
feel like
not
it's wrong.
Those are
Anyway.
It sounds like a liberal thing. That's liberal and maybe tanky. That's
That's
liberal
nothing to do
or
with liberalism.
tanky. Yeah, that's liberal or tanky.
That's not liberal. That's not liberal at all.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like something a liberal would say.
No, it
It
doesn't.
is something that liberals did say.
Oh, there you
They
go.
weren't liberals. They're probably leftists. Marxists, probably.
What
Yeah,
the fuck are
good
you
one.
talking about?
Good one, liberal.
Unfortunately, my study's in Swedish, so, or my statistic, rather. It's a stat sheet, it's not a study, but it's in Swedish. Okay.
Wait.
Right.
Yeah, wait, no.
Okay, you can do that if you want.
Time? How much time is left on the clock?
34 seconds.
Can you give us 2 more minutes to get these studies out of the way?
Jim?
And then we'll hand it over?
Yeah. Yeah, let's put on 2 more minutes here.
Alright, let me just post this. Since you guys.
2 minutes starting now.
Alright. Where are these fucking studies, mate?
Okay, he posted them in
Not that
introduction.
hard
Here
to
we go.
actually post them.
There
So
we
it's in
go.
the VC Journal too now.
Why didn't you put all of your studies in a document like I did before the debate?
Because I wasn't aware, I thought we were just having a conversation, so.
No, I know, I'm being an ass. We are having a conversation. We're trying to convince you you're wrong.
Wrong about what? Like, I mean,
About your thought process behind how you came to your conclusions.
I mean, again, it's just. You're
Alright, hold on,
I don't
I'm
feel you're
reading
going to
this
convince
study.
me.
Give me
There's
a
nothing
second.
that you've provided so far that substantiates what you're saying. So, I mean,
What do you mean? I read the document again. You said that it's based
this
off
is
of
evidence
ethnicity,
enough
right?
for me. When 58% of the rapes committed in Sweden and attempted rapes are from people born outside of Europe, okay, that's evidence enough for me that this is, this is a problem. That we need to just stop immigration, stop non-white immigration. Okay. Let's protect our women. I'll take the feminist stance. I'm pro-women, therefore I'm anti-rape. Okay. Okay, so let's get rid of the people who are committing rapes.
What about non-white people from Europe? Don't they count in the statistics? Are you sure that it's a racial thing?
They said people who are not from Europe. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Excuse me as I translate.
What about
But
non-white
you
people from
can
Europe?
basically deduce that that's non-white. Okay.
No, you
So,
can't.
I mean,
No.
No, you can't.
you
No,
can.
you're-
And
Wait,
look,
I'm not from
literally
Europe and
can't.
I'm white. What the
if you
fuck
look
are
at the
talking about?
Look at
amount of
demographic
American,
look at demographic
if you look at
statistics
the
in
amount
Europe.
of American
There were
white or
non-white
Canadian
people.
white. Hold on. If you look at the amount of American white or Canadian white or Australian white populations or South African white populations who have immigrated to Sweden and attempted or committed a rape there, okay, I'm sure it's a exceedingly small number, probably
Oh, why didn't
a
you
tenth
post
of
that?
1/10 of a percent.
wasn't
That's
part
2
of the
minutes up, by the way.
So
Why didn't you post that then? Why did you post this that only mentioned that they weren't born outside of Europe and didn't have like a racial breakdown?
Yeah, also, I can make the same argument that this doesn't account for race.
you can look at South. All you have to do to verify this is look at the amount of total immigration.
Before we move on to the Great
Look
Replacement,
at the total amount. Wait,
so-
hold on. This is very important. Look at the total
very
amount
important, okay.
of American, Canadian, South African, and Australian people, of white people of those countries living in Sweden right now. Okay, go look at the number of that. Go look at the proportionality of that, and then apply that to the rape statistic. Okay.
Works.
It will not account for. It will not account for anywhere near 58%. It will not account for anywhere near that.
So you assert, but you haven't shown it.
So it seems like Juice said something very stupid. What he said was that the guy was not carrying a knife. Jacob Blake was not carrying a knife, and you correctly pointed that out. So could you find that video for me? The video which shows that he actually had a knife on him.
Yes, if I can find it.
Okay, cool.
They also announced that he had a knife, so I'm not really sure what the issue is here. But
And to be clear, your claim is that he was carrying the knife.
from what I saw, he was carrying the knife, and it turned out to be correct. So based on one of the reports that came out after that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you link any of those reports as well? Like a report saying he was.
There's a number of reports that Timcast reported on. So.
Okay, well, just post the video. Well, you claimed there was a video.
Simple. I'll allow it.
So you claim there's a video.
What's your issue with? Wait, what is the issue with Tim Pool? I'm confused.
Oh, he's an idiot.
I like Tim Pool
because he's a Republican, right?
No. He's not a Republican.
I mean, he's a Trump, so
that doesn't make him a Republican.
It doesn't help his case.
Tim
he has
Pool has to
900,000 YouTube subs, so I mean, how many subs?
Yeah.
Wait,
Tim Pool has to choose
Sargon
between
has
Trump and
subs.
I mean, just saying. So anyway,
more like
at least he is an honest reporter. Yeah, that's actually fairly rare nowadays. You know what I mean? So.
He's not. He just gives his opinions on news reports that have been verified by, whatever the fuck it's called. He's just a commentator. He's not. He doesn't do any hard reporting anymore.
Alright, so.
This is so fucking hard to read when it's been translated to
fucking
fucking English.
Why I can't find a video of this. This is like, can you guys show me the video, please? That you're talking about?
Oh, sure.
You guys link the video? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I could actually point out the knife in the video, if you know.
Sure, I'll link the one I was looking at before, or if any. Well, this one's really.
I saw the cell phone video that happened. That's what I saw, and from like some window somewhere, some bystander.
All right. So literally in the study that you show me, it explains that it's because of socioeconomic reasons. Like I said before, that there's a overrepresentation of immigrants in the statistics.
And what statistics?
In the statistics that you showed me.
Okay, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the happiness index? Are we talking about
no?
race?
This is the rape one. This is the rape one.
Right. So yeah, so socioeconomic status
We're not
causes
getting back
rape.
into this.
You know how
Okay, we're not
delusional
getting
that
into
sounds? Fun. Like,
No.
that's
So
just stupid.
okay, cool. So this is where the second video is. As for the first video, let me find the one I was looking at. So the second video starts around 15 seconds on CNN.
Just link it, please.
Yeah, I did. It's in general too.
Just keep your eyes on VC2 Razorcore. That's where we're talking about it mostly.
Okay, so let me take a look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Second video. Oh wait, I want to see the first video.
Yeah, so that's the second video. I'm finding the first video for you.
Right, okay. Yeah, I was trying to find the first one.
Okay, so here's the first video. So the footage starts around 1:45.
The first video starts around 1:45. Thank you. All right. All right. So DOJ says that Jacob Blake had a knife when the officers tried to arrest him. Yes, this is true. Let's take a look at the first video now. I have to watch this ad. Okay, then. Jeez, I can't even see anything from this angle. What is this hand?
The survey itself debunks itself.
I'm sorry, what?
It explains that therefore it's not possible to draw conclusions about the rapist based on the survey. In the survey.
What study?
The one that you linked.
Okay, so you're talking about the Norway. Wait, okay, so did you translate it?
Yeah. Hold on, I can send you a screenshot of the exact part in English.
Let's take a look.
It's fucking hard to read this shit when it's not English. We should glass all non-English speaking places. Don't record that. Alright.
Okay, did you watch the video?
I saw the video, and unfortunately, it's too blurry for me to be able to derive any information from it. So.
Okay, cool. So you.
Now this was the same
where
video.
You can see the knife.
Yeah,
this is the same exact video.
So what this article says is that they found a knife on the driver's side. So he was not carrying this knife, and he.
It appeared to me that he was carrying a knife.
Wait, I'm
on
not
the
done yet.
original
So he
Twitter
never.
video.
No, he wasn't. Can you post anything that says that?
Unfortunately, I can't find the original Twitter video.
Okay, yeah. So you can't find it.
Wait.
So you can't substantiate it.
Well, it's the same
Why
video
would
you
these
linked me.
reports
So I don't
disagree
know,
with you
like,
then?
but it's just higher fidelity.
Oh,
So.
then
Okay,
you should be
then
able to point
find it.
Yeah.
Oh, and also he never actually ended up lunging at the police officer. He did lunge into his car. That's true. But he never lunged at the police officer. He was shot by the time he would have ever had a chance to do that. So you're
You
wrong
don't-
on both counts.
Really, what is the substantiation for that claim?
What?
Oh, that video.
Where's the evidence for that?
That
There is no
video.
evidence. The video doesn't show him after the. It doesn't show him. You can't see an angle, rather, of him in the car. Okay, you can see the car door is blocking the shooting. Okay, so you can't see it.
Wait, and you
Okay.
said you saw him lunge at the officer. So you made the positive claim. You have to prove that.
They're claiming that he lunged at him. You're the one who's
He was
claiming
shot in the
that he
back.
did.
Wait, he was
Yeah.
wait, Razorcore. He was shot in the back. How do you lunge at someone and be shot in the back by that same person?
Do you understand that
You
he
saw
was?
the videos.
Okay, hold your horses, okay? You understand
Okay,
that
post an article that substantiates.
if you
any
lunge
claims.
forward and your back is exposed to someone who's right in front of you, and someone who's above you in elevation,
What does that even mean?
It can absolutely shoot down on you from your back. That's 100% the case. Okay?
What is that? How do you
Don't tell me
lunge
it's
forward
cool.
with your back
You know.
exposed to someone?
That's cool. It just didn't happen.
Okay, cool. So do you have an article that proves either of your claims? Or anything?
You're the one making the claim.
No, you're making. No,
Okay.
you made the positive claim that
No.
A, he was carrying the
No,
knife, and
you're
B, that he
making
lunged at the officer. Actually, yes, you did.
The
That's what you did
positive
before.
claim is that this was a unjustified murder. What are you talking about?
Wait,
That's the positive
I'm
claim.
Not, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the fact that you said A, he was carrying a knife, and B, he
What do
lunged
you
at the
think this
officer.
whole
So
thing is
substantiate
about,
that.
buddy?
What?
Okay, you're telling me that I got. Okay, first of all, let's put aside the fact that he had a criminal record of assaulting police
Wait,
officers.
we're not talking
That's
about
totally
that. We're talking
irrelevant.
about your
Yeah,
two
leave that
claims.
aside.
One was that he was
Irrelevant.
carrying a knife. The other one
Okay.
was that he lunged at the officer. Substantiated.
Right.
So you just fucking lied. Admit it.
Now, all right. So no, I didn't lie. I'll
Okay,
actually concede
substantiate
on-
then.
Are you gonna let me talk or no?
No, post it. Post something. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Just post it.
Jim.
Shut the fuck up, Box.
No, you're okay,
Jim,
listen.
calm
You're,
down.
you're making the claim that this was an
No,
unjustified
no one's.
killing.
I'm not making any
You don't
claims.
have any
When did I
evidence
make any
to
claims?
suggest that it's an unjustified
When did I make
killing.
any claims?
That's the entire incident. The whole incident as to what happened in Kenosha and all
You're
the
not answering my
media-
question.
It
When
looks
did I
really
make
fucking
any
bad when you
claims?
can't
that
substantiate anything you say.
transpired
Now
afterwards.
post the fucking sources
You're
for
not
the
answering
claims
the
you made.
question.
Really? You're the one saying that he was unjustly shot.
I
What is
never
the
said that. I'm not making any claims. I'm talking about your claims.
This whole incident is about the claim that it's unjustified. Hello?
No, it's
I'm
not.
not talking
You made
about
two
that. I'm talking
specific
about your
claims.
2 claims. Okay, try to keep up, buddy. I know you're a little slow. But try to keep
Oh,
up.
wow.
Okay, so
Yeah.
A, you said he was carrying the knife, and B, you said he lunged at the officer. Substantiate it.
Okay, so I won't substantiate the first one because I can't find the Twitter clip. Okay,
Of course
So you cannot substantiate it. So are you gonna walk it back now?
Well, hold on. Okay, am I get to talk, or are you just gonna cut me off every time I
Are
try
you
to
lying
talk?
or dumb?
All right, we're moving to the next topic because no one wants to let me talk. So
Wait, okay,
You're
talk.
such
Let
a
him
little
talk. Let him
bitch.
talk.
What a little
Razor,
snowflake.
let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah.
Razorcore.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
okay. So go ahead. So you said you won't substantiate. You can't substantiate the first one. Oh, what about the second one?
the second one was that we don't have any information. Okay. Now there was reported that Jacob Blake had a knife and lunged the officer.
Can you link?
That's what was
Sure,
reported.
can you link
So,
that?
so,
Sure, I can probably find something on that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
if you can't find anything, you're willing to walk that claim back because you have no reason to believe it.
Well,
If you're wrong, will you admit that you are wrong?
if you can substantiate what, yeah, sure.
Wait, no.
No.
If
You're
you
making
can
the
fa-
positive claims. You have to substantiate it.
I would argue that this whole thing is a positive claim.
I don't
that
care what you would argue. I'm not making a positive claim right now.
Alright.
You made 2
No, I
positive
think
claims.
the
It's-
reason why
it's
we're
not
talking about this
important.
is a positive
Wait,
claim.
no one's talking about that right now. We're talking about your 2 positive claims.
Alright. Everyone
So
calm
just
down,
link the
alright?
article.
Everyone
Why-
calm down.
Free to
It's
understand.
not important. Just find the information.
Shut up, Vox. I will be
And
as
that's all.
outraged as I feel like.
Do it in silence. Alright?
Let's take a look.
Jim, I bought a blender today.
Hell yeah.
I thought said it got stolen.
Wait. I didn't say that, but also I went and bought a new one.
Hell yeah, dude.
So you may have misplaced the old one.
I mean, it's possible. But I bought a Ninja blender. It was $100. So
Oh, the ninja's really nice.
yeah, it better
Yeah,
blend
I
the
wanna
fuck
get
out of
that-
this fruit.
I was gonna get one of those the ninja one that's like just a bottle, you know? That you just
Oh
quickly
yeah,
do.
mine came with those.
What? Well, it was $100.
Yeah. It came with several attachments.
But then I realized that I don't like blending fruits together.
Jim yelled at me for eating bagels for breakfast, so now I have to drink a smoothie every morning.
Hell yeah.
Are you Jewish?
Yeah,
What a stereotype.
dude, have you ever had a bagel? They're fucking delicious.
Wait, so many people eat bagels in the morning.
Have you seen oh fuck, what the hell's the name of that really cringe food movie?
Food fight?
No, it's the one where the food's alive and it's very X-rated. Where they
Not food fight. Sausage party.
Sausage party, yeah.
was
And the Jewish food is a bagel.
Mm-hmm.
I can substantiate that he was armed with a knife, according to the DOJ. Okay.
Okay, sure. Post it.
I can substantiate. Okay. Do we agree with that or not?
Just post it first.
Just post it.
Sure, I can
Post it,
post
we
the
can actually
DOJ substantiation down. DOJ.
He's looking it up. He didn't even have it.
Well, here? I can already tell you what's going to happen before.
Yeah,
like,
the
he posts it.
Wisconsin Department of Justice or issued a statement. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to say that he was in possession of a knife, and what they mean by he was in possession of a knife is that it was in his car, because like what things that are in your car are considered in your possession. He wasn't holding the knife. They found the knife in the driver's side floorboard.
Okay, I saw a knife in the original Twitter clip. I
Okay,
can't
find the
substantiate.
video then.
Yeah.
I can't find the video.
Okay,
I'll
until
help
you
you-
find
I'll
the
help
video,
you.
we're not accepting that.
I'll help
I
you
saw a
look it
video where
up.
he was actually saving 1,000 babies while the cop was shooting him. You couldn't see there were 1,000 babies in the car. He was trying to do CPR to them, and the cop just shot him, and then left while the babies all
that's
died.
fine. What's the name of this guy so I can help him look it up?
Jacob
Jacob
Blake.
Blake.
Jake?
Okay, So what is
Jake
this?
got
What is
Blake.
evidence of? Can you explain what this case is evidence of? Because you guys are trying to derive some kind of broader.
No, I was
implication.
just curious on your two claims. I just want you to substantiate that or walk it back.
Yeah, just post the DOJ quote that says that he threatened someone with a knife. Just find it and post it. That'd be great.
Oh, I said that they found a knife. That he was armed with a knife.
Oh, we
No,
all
no,
know
no,
that.
no,
No. That's two different.
You claimed
two
he
different
was
statements.
carrying the knife.
Right?
Are you
I
walking
saw
that
it.
back?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Right,
said you saw a knife. Find the video
Yeah, I
then.
saw a knife. I saw a knife in the video.
Okay, find the video then.
I can't find
If
the
you
video.
find the DOJ quote,
Okay,
it
then
has
fuck
to say
off with that.
something beyond,
Alright,
oh,
fine,
he
I'll
was in
fuck off with
possession
that.
of a knife. It has to say he was something like, oh, hey, he used the knife to threaten the police officer or something like that. Because if the knife was just inside of his car, okay, that doesn't tell us much. Doesn't substantiate your claim.
Okay. What's your point?
That it better not just say, oh, he was in possession of a knife.
Okay. Yeah, he was in possession. Yeah, he had a knife. I saw.
Wait, no, he was in possession of a knife. Things that are in your vehicle are in your possession. That's what it means. They found the knife in his car.
Maybe I can find the video. Actually, hold on.
I'm looking
That'd
forward
be
to
cool.
it.
Okay, cool. Find the video. Hell yeah.
I would be really surprised if you found a video of him carrying a knife because he wasn't. But it'd be cool if
Alright.
you did.
I'm gonna enhance.
I
Hands
just
are
don't-
empty.
I don't understand where all the outrage is here. I just don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any
Oh,
sense
you just
to me.
made two dumb fucking claims that you can't substantiate, so I want to see you substantiate it, but I know you can't. I know you're lying, or you're being dumb. One or the other.
I don't think it's a lie. And
Oh,
I think
shut
it's
the fuck up.
So calm down.
No, I
I
wouldn't
think
say
you're-
that he had
What
a
a
knife in his
Weasley
hand
little liar, dude.
or something that appeared to be a knife.
Vox, if it's not a lie, that only means he's really, really, really stupid. So I don't know which one's better for him.
No, it appears to be a knife. So
Okay,
from the original
yeah, sure. Post
Alright,
it.
one that
hold
high enough fidelity. Yeah. So let me see
I
if I can
found-
find the video. High enough
Okay,
fidelity.
sure. So post a video or an article substantiate
Oh, I
it.
think I
One
may
or
have
the
found
other.
it. Let me see if I can find it.
I found the video, and I'm going to super slow it down so that I can look at his hands.
Wait,
Hold
why
on.
don't we just listen to what the DOJ said instead of trying to like look at a very low quality grainy video in slow motion? Because the DOJ said that was not armed with a knife, or he didn't threaten anyone with a knife. State agents recovered a knife from the driver's side floorboard of the vehicle, the DOJ said. No other weapons were located inside the vehicle. The DOJ did not say that Blake threatened anyone with a knife. Also, let me get the other quote here. State agent, here it is. Okay. The Associated Press, so the man who filmed the video said that he heard the officer drop the knife before they shot Blake, but he said he didn't see one in hand. So people there, the witnesses, they didn't see it. Which, of course, aligns with the DOJ's report.
And here are. Here's a picture of his empty hands.
I'll walk back the claim that he had a knife, was carrying it. I'll walk back that claim because I can't substantiate it.
Okay, sure. What about the lunging claim?
The lunging claim is evidence of. I mean, if you look at the history of officer-involved shootings.
Oh, we're not talking about history. We're talking about this specific case. Okay, don't weasel out of it. Okay, can you substantiate this specific case?
Oh, yeah, you're the one saying that he didn't lunge. That it was.
Wait, no, you're
unjustified.
making a positive claim here. You cannot weasel out of this. No,
No,
you're making a positive claim. You have to substantiate it.
No, you're the one saying he was unjustifiably shot.
No, I never said that. Wait, when did I ever say that? Are you okay? You're a little confused.
Alright, I'm done. Here. We're
You're
gonna go
such
to
a
the next.
little bitch. Holy shit. Okay, fine. Debate with Paul.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the next discussion because you don't seem to understand why we're even talking about this issue. So
No, you just keep trying to change the subject because you don't acknowledge the fact that you're wrong.
Alright, everyone relax. We're going on to the next one, alright? We had our nice little
Wait,
gym
wait,
hack.
1 sec,
Alright.
Fox. To actually talk about something, we actually have to establish the facts first. We're not even in the same universe. You are not in reality. But that's okay,
So-
buddy. I know you're a little slow. That's okay. Go ahead, Paul.
Alright.
Okay.
Please forgive
Alright.
Jim, he's autistic and black, alright?
True.
Yeah, no, you're always gonna take the side of your own kind. I know.
Okay.
Wait, what was that?
So, go on. Just next topic. Let's go.
So the great
Alright, so the
replacement.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You want to debate this really? When
Yeah.
the New York Times admits to this, and the LA Times admits to the Great Replacement, like you want to debate it, really?
So
CNN admits to it, like,
Can I like start, or do you want
Yeah,
to
go
keep
ahead. Go ahead.
pontificating?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
What is your claim?
All
Tell
right.
me. What's the...
So, well, first I want to confirm something with you. When we're talking about the Great Replacement, do you believe in these two following claims? That one, this racial demographic change that's happening in the West, that it is a bad thing, first.
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on that. And the second claim is that this is being orchestrated by a nefarious elite, not necessarily Jews, but like political elite, business elite, and that it's being it's being like affected or created by like against the will of the people.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's start with the first claim, because like this is how I want to structure this. So why do you think this racial change, like whether it be from mass immigration, is bad?
It's bad because whenever you substantially alter the demographic makeup of a nation over, well, any period of time, especially over the course of maybe 3 generations, though, which is a very small period of time, there's going to be serious social and political implications for such. Okay, and what we see is, if you look at voting trends, if you look at exit polls, you have basically all non-white groups, racial groups, that vote predominantly Democrat, okay, like overwhelmingly Democrat, and only white people are the demographic who vote predominantly conservative. And so you have some worrying trends when you poll these people on what their political inclinations are, especially on topics such as gun control, so the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, etc. So these are the two most worrying things, actually, because they're overwhelmingly in favor of hate speech laws, minorities, as well as they're overwhelmingly in favor of gun control, minorities. So
okay. So to counter that, I do understand that immigrants do tend to vote more for the Democrat side. However, I do question the legitimacy of whether that effect is carried on like through the first, second, third, subsequent generations. From my understanding, when immigrants do come, whether to the U.S. or Europe, although the immigrants might not assimilate extremely well, their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren eventually do assimilate extremely well into the host culture.
in what sense do they assimilate well? I could
What's
argue that they don't assimilate well. I would argue that we don't even attempt to assimilate them anymore.
Well, I mean, in the U.S., we don't really have like a unifying culture. It's more of a melting pot. That's how we traditionally know it. But in Europe, it's
no,
definitely
actually,
the case.
that's not how it was traditionally the case. That was not the case traditionally. Especially when we started importing the Third World, there was an expectation of assimilation. So we had a sort of civic nationalist foundation. Okay, and now we don't even attempt to assimilate these people. You don't even have to really understand English or read English. There's no literacy tests that are given anymore, etc. You have basically populations that are self-segregating from other populations all throughout the U.S., by the way.
Yeah.
This happens on their own volition. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not assimilating. Okay. You have over 50% of California households as of now that don't speak English as a first language. That's not assimilation into the U.S. Okay. It's definitely not. That's
Well, I mean,
else.
if Spanish is their first language, like, what?
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry?
What percentage of households did you say? Razorcore?
You have a little over 50% of households in California no longer speak English as a first language.
But do they speak it as a second language?
Well, maybe to varying degrees, but they don't speak English in their household. That's not the primary language of their household, English. Okay.
But
So
why is that an issue?
Because that's indicative of a serious linguistic barrier that means that they're not assimilating into the broader society. They're creating their own society, which is fine. I'm actually okay with them creating their own society. I'm all for that.
Wait, how does that is a complete non sequitur. How does that follow? Like, if you speak your home language or your mother tongue in your house, but you can still speak English and like interact with general society in English, like, how is that so segregating? I don't like that. Doesn't follow. Can you bridge that gap?
If you largely are around your ethnic group, almost predominantly a racial group, which is the case with Hispanics in the southwestern portion of the U.S., okay, SoCal, these large ethnic areas that are basically, you can even see street signs in Spanish, and yet they have their little Mexico or their little Chinatown or whatever within the U.S. So they have like their own little country that is within the U.S. as an adjunct. Okay, so that's not assimilation. Okay, when instances like Chinatown exist, when adjuncts like whatever ethnic Spanish neighborhoods exist in LA or San Diego, all around SoCal, these places are not assimilating into the broader society. They're creating their own society within our borders. That's what they're doing.
I have to push back on that. Like, when you're just saying like they're creating their own country or their own culture, like within our country, like, is it just because they speak Spanish, like in public or in their house? Like, is that like really your key indicator that they're not assimilating?
No, I'm saying that their broader societal or social sort of milieu, the milieu that they operate in is one that is ethnically and racially homogeneous. They even have basically entire subsections of towns dedicated to their own ethnic group or racial group. I mean, you have Chinatown, and for instance, Chinatown is an absolutely stellar example of this kind of ethnic enclave that exists within the U.S. Okay, and I guess that's fine. I mean, look, I'm not advocating for civic nationalism. I'm just pointing out what's going on. Okay, so we're not even attempting to assimilate these people anymore. There is no attempt to assimilate them. Okay? Go on.
I'm not sure about that because we do have ESL that helps their children and grandchildren like learn English and integrate into the culture. But even if I were to grant you that, what exactly is the issue with that? Because we do have Chinatown in New York and California. We also have like Little Italy in New York as well. So like, what exactly is like the big issue here?
It's not a big issue. I'm actually all for that. I'm just pointing out what's going on. Okay, but for some reason you've made this about assimilation and civic nationalism rather than demographics and destiny.
Right. So in terms of
I'm not a civic nationalist. Just to clarify.
But we're talking about demographics here. So we're getting more Hispanics in the U.S., for example. It's limited to the U.S. Why is this an issue?
I pointed out this is an issue for a number of reasons. Okay. We have their political inclinations are frankly anti-American. Okay, if you are pro hate speech laws and you're pro gun control, it's anti-American position. I would argue. So that's in opposition to what I believe. Okay, what most white people believe actually. Okay, so there's going to be a conflict of interests that occur here. Okay, between people who want to live a certain way and people who don't want to live a certain way. Okay, and they're all under one big giant roof. Well, if maybe if we all had our own roofs, then things would work out better.
But wait, this is an issue that's completely divorced from immigrants. Like, whites in the U.S., people who have been born here, still have massive disagreements regarding gun control, contraception, like a wide variety of issues. Like, immigrants don't really factor in. So, like, if we were to have like 0 immigrants here, you would still have like steep political divides, even among white people. So I don't understand like how immigration really factors in here.
I will say this, that if you poofed all the immigrants out of America, all the non-white immigrants out of America under this hypothetical tomorrow, and the election was only held with white people voting, you have Republican in office 100% of the time for every election in the foreseeable future in which this circumstance is the case. Okay, so
and like the left-wing people in California, Washington, New York, like they would be against you. So what, are you going to deport the lefties as well?
Right. So they'd be against me, but they wouldn't have any political capital because virtually the entire country is against them in this regard. So.
Right. So it's just like a might makes right thing with you. Like, you really don't care about like politics. You just want to make sure your side wins.
You could say that about any side. What are you talking about? Every ethnic group wants to further their own interests, and this is if they're explicit about it. Whites are actually the only group who are not explicit about it because it's taboo to do so. You have instances, you have organizations like the Hispanic Congressional Caucus and the Black Congressional Caucus that are solely for the purpose of furthering the interests of their respective ethnic or racial groups. Okay, So if whites created such a system, then they would be excoriated as the reincarnation of the Third Reich. Okay, but these other groups are able to do this with no problem, and they're celebrated for doing so. There's a disconnect here. There's an imbalance here that needs to be sorted out. Okay, and ultimately, under the current paradigm, whites are going to fall short, and non-whites are going to accrue all of the political capital eventually.
So when I first posed like the first point, like what I was expecting to hear was like issues regarding crime rates, for example, or like decreasing the quality of education, or like spreading illnesses, like if they come in illegally. Like this is the stuff that I expected to hear. You're just talking to me like these people like support shit that I don't like, so
Yeah.
I want to keep them out.
Yeah, so I'd like to not have them here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's just like a you problem. That's not like a problem that affects everyone in the country.
What are you talking
That's just
about?
your personal preference.
I mean, there's other issues too. Look at racial strife that's happening in the U.S. right now. I mean, like look at what's going on. You have these radical factions who honestly, wholeheartedly believe, like you guys, that U.S. is fundamentally a white supremacist system that's designed to disenfranchise minorities. Okay, and or even kill them rather. Okay, which is a complete farce. It's completely fake, and it's frankly disgusting that anyone would ever say that. Okay, but when you have situations like this, you're going to have issues with social cohesion, and that's exactly what's going on in the U.S. right now. You have a serious political polarization that's happening. Okay, and I don't know if there's a peaceable way out of this. Honestly, it's not looking good. Okay, so
yeah, well, I mean, like these protests in particular are because of police brutality, which is an issue that affects the entire country. Yeah, no, it is an issue. Like even if you were to use like the statistics of like how many people get killed by the police, like a majority of them are white in total numbers, but in terms of per capita, black people do suffer disproportionately from police killings.
Yeah, because they commit more of the crimes, and therefore they're putting themselves in a situation.
Even as a proportion of the crime they commit, it's still disproportionate. But we're not here to debate that.
Well, whatever we do, okay, because I can have that debate with you, but what do you want to debate about? Because I've given you my positions on that.
So the first thing, like you just gave me your feelings here. Like you really treasure certain policy positions, and you see a lot of immigrants. A majority of them like vote against your interests, so you just want to keep them out. I was hoping to have something more substance, but we can get into that with the second claim, I believe. Now, you claim that immigration all over the West, that this is due to like elites, like out of touch elites that are completely going against the wishes of, like the citizens. Is that correct, according to you?
Can you rewrite that? You're saying that the elites are against the citizens?
They're bringing in immigration, and like the people are against that.
Yes, that's evidence.
Okay, all right.
The evidence for this is Donald Trump, by the way. The fact that Donald Trump has got elected was evidence of a kind of white identity politics that was implicit, yet it's kind of hard to say. It sort of came out all at once, right? So he was a populist candidate who promised to, build the wall, kick the illegals out. You know what I mean? Bring the jobs back to Middle America. This kind of rhetoric, very populist rhetoric, rhetoric that appeals to a lot of white people. Okay.
Yeah.
And a rhetoric that appeals to me, actually. Okay. So that's exactly what's going on, and people like that kind of rhetoric, and they want more of it.
Yeah, and the issue behind that is because of globalization and the Democrats' complete failure of addressing the absolute, terrible blowbacks from globalization. Because even I, as a lip-cuck economist, I can tell you that even though free trade and immigration are really great for economic growth, it does leave behind some bad effects in terms of offshoring, for example, and stuff like that. So I will absolutely agree with you on that Trump really harnessed populism, because just a lot of Americans just felt like the typical Republicans and Democrats completely abandoned them. So I'll agree with you there. However, the idea that immigration is opposed by many people is sort of half true, because most Americans, their key issue is the economy. So making sure they have great jobs, job growth in the economy, making sure that the price of goods doesn't increase too much. So all of this, in order to deliver this, you need open trade with other countries, multilateral trade preferably, as well as immigration, because these two policy tools together drive economic growth. So Americans care more about the economy than immigration, and the fact that Americans want a good standard of living, good jobs, etc., immigration and open trade is what will deliver that primarily.
So you touched on a number of points here.
Yeah.
I'll say that I don't know if it's just the economy that people are interested in. Okay? I think that they're interested in more things, and also I think that there's sort of a disconnect in what you said about immigration and the economy. Are tied here. They're tied in place. Okay, they're tied together. Okay, when you have mass immigration, mass race replacement immigration, this has a variety of social and economic implications to it. Okay, people don't like to see their communities, destroyed and by mass immigration and multiculturalism.
How are they getting destroyed?
Okay, they don't like to see their jobs being taken away by people who are, grossly underemployed, or basically, just these people who are just hopping over the border and coming and taking jobs. Okay, they don't want to see that, because when you increase the supply of labor, the value of labor goes down. This is simple supply and demand economics. Okay.
And simple supply and demand will also tell you that having more people in your country is going to increase the demand for goods, services, investment in the country, and that will drive economic growth as well. So the idea that just immigrants will lower the cost of wages isn't as simple as that. So, for example, for STEM degrees, they are still the most highly compensated fields in the entire country, and yet we still have to bring in a fuck ton of H-1B visas because we can't train enough computer engineers, computer scientists, and engineers here in the U.S. So we have to bring them in via the H-1B system, and their presence doesn't kill wages.
We should be incentivizing American nationals to go into STEM, but we don't do that. We encourage women to go into STEM who are not going to go into STEM anyway. Okay, so we need to be encouraging.
So the data, I'm pretty sure the data would disagree with you on that point, but there's that issue of comparative advantage, right? Like as a country, you do what you're good at. Like, it's not reasonable to expect America to produce everything. Like, we can't be like BMW, Volkswagen. We can't completely just take over every single industry and just use the government to pour billions and trillions of dollars into every industry and expect to be competitive in every field. It's just not possible. Like, I agree we should invest in training STEM people, but getting someone off the street and training them for 4, 5, 6 years, people need that labor right now, so we need the H-1Bs to fill that labor shortage.
Well, I don't view everything under the lens of economics. I think we did fine in the 1950s under a system where, I'll pay more for groceries if I could live in a 95% white society. Okay, I'll pay more for groceries. I'll pay more for other goods. Okay, because the broader society is a much more pleasant place. Okay, when people are like me. Okay, so
how is it pleasant if you're poor?
Who's to say it would be poor? We were doing fine in the 1950s.
You literally just said that you would rather pay more by paying more for the same shit. Like, you're decreasing the quality of your life. De facto.
I'm decreasing the materialism of my life by a little bit. I can deal with a little bit less materialism if I have a healthier social environment. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If I live in a community that resonates with me and that's safe and that's lively and beautiful and not these run down crime-infested shitholes that our urban areas are becoming,
I
largely
know
because of
you
that.
don't believe
Okay?
this because if I
So,
shipped you to Switzerland and I paid you €5 an hour and you lived on the streets of Switzerland, sure, it might be nice than living on the streets of Chicago, but you'd still be living on the streets nonetheless. And I'm pretty sure nobody wants to live on the streets in any country.
I'm not
Like
really
you would
sure.
rather have a nice
Never
home
made that claim.
and be able to afford like a better life for
Right,
yourself.
right, and people were doing that just fine in the 1950s when the country was 90% white and we had very restrictive immigration laws. Okay, and we were doing great. We had an economic boom. Okay, so we're doing fine. No issues there. So we got along just fine in the 1950s without all this mass immigration. What is the purpose of it now? There's no point. No point. We're just asking for trouble, and frankly, I don't want to be replaced in my own country. That's not,
What?
So you just threw in like a Fields argument, like right at the end there, completely worthless. In terms of the American economy in the 1950s, you have to understand that the entire world was fucking destroyed.
Wait, you
by
need to
World War II.
wait,
So
hold
of
on,
course, we were the strongest economy in the entire world. What?
Can you substantiate how my last thing that I said was worthless? You need to make that when you make something like that.
You don't want to
when
be
you say something
replaced.
Okay.
Like you don't want to be
Yeah,
replaced.
that's
in your
totally
own
what's
country.
going on. Is that people in countries have a vested interest in not being replaced by.
Dude, that
other
is a
people.
worthless. That is so vacuous. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you have children, and your children will replace you when you die. Like, being replaced by like people who have a slightly darker skin tone.
Oh, but yeah, being
Holy
replaced
shit.
by foreigners. Yes, exactly. Look, no country in the history of the world has ever allowed itself, the majority population, to be relegated to minority status. That's never happened. It's never happened willingly. Okay, it only happens through immigration and war. And frankly, those two things are, they're two sides of the same coin, essentially. Okay, immigration basically is war when you consider the outcomes of both. Okay, and in many cases, it's actually worse than war. Okay, immigration. What does war do? It changes. If you conquer a country, it changes the leadership and politics of that country. What does immigration do? If you immigrate enough people, okay, and you change the demographic makeup of that country, then you're changing the leadership and political inclinations of that country, the politics of that country, the social system of that country, the culture of that country. It's all being.
Are you actually making this argument
So
to
they're
me?
basically,
Wait. Answer this for me. Do you think rape and consensual sex are the same thing?
This is disanalogous. How?
No, it is perfectly analogous. War is something that is non-consensual. If you invade a country, it's typically assumed that the other country doesn't want to be invaded.
No one is
Immigration,
asking for a million
immigration is
immigrants.
consensual. You go to the country, and then they give you a permit or a visa, and then it's perfectly consensual, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's consensual in the sense that hostile elites who control our immigration policy and our foreign policy. Okay, immigrate or allow for mass race replacement immigration against the will of the people. Okay, they allow for this to happen.
The will of the people wants a strong economy, and the way you deliver a strong economy is through immigration and free trade.
Goodness gracious, dude.
Can I ask you something? Hold up. So let's say I made you president and I got rid of all of those nasty elites. How would you run an economy to actually, satisfy the people's will? So, strong job growth, strong economic growth, cheap consumer goods. How would you manage that with no immigration? Please tell me.
I would have a socially conservative, fiscally semi-liberal situation going on. Okay, so I'd have social safety nets. I'd have a little bit of, what would you say? I'd have restrictions on global capitalism and free trade. Okay, I would make sure that capitalists within the U.S. cannot, corporations cannot sell out their countrymen to globalists and people from all around the world. Okay,
these are pretty vague.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't allow Amazon to function in the way that it's functioning right now. Okay, I would not allow Google to function in the way that it's functioning right now. Okay.
Wait, what are the implications of that? What do you mean, like not functioning the way it is?
What are the implications of this?
No, like you said, like you wouldn't let them operate the way that they are. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, elaborate on
Yeah.
the specifics,
Yeah,
please.
elaborate that. Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't allow Jeff Bezos to make hundreds of billions of dollars off of foreign labor and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's really
Wait,
what it
what
comes down.
foreign labor? He's been expanding warehouses all over the U.S. and actually created 200,000 jobs since January in the U.S. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
I'm confused. I think you guys are like anti-corporatism. Now you're like making pro-corporatism points. I'm confused.
Well, no, we're not making any claims. We just want to know what your claims are.
Okay. So that's how basically I'd set up a country: socially conservative, fiscally semi-liberal, social safety nets in place, all non-white immigration to a halt. All illegal immigrants have to go or are deported. I would ban contraception because it's dysgenic.
Amazing.
What else would I do? Yeah, that's basically what I would do.
So I'm not even going to get into how catastrophic or how dystopian that society would be. My point I'm trying to tell you is that
really
name
name something you object to there.
Okay, so like you said, you would close off immigration and free trade, presumably, so companies won't be able to like import shit or move their factories abroad, right?
I would say you're not going to be able to do shenanigans like what a lot of manufacturers are doing right now in China. Yeah. So, yeah, you'd have to keep
shenanigans, meaning just like moving your shit.
Bringing manufacturing jobs back to America. Give people jobs here. We're not going to give them to foreign laborers in China.
Right. Yeah, so like doing that, you're going to make all of your industries completely uncompetitive. And you're just going to cut yourself off from the rest of the world. And basically destroy America and let China basically dominate the entire world.
What do you think is happening right now? Do you think America is going well? Do you think that this experiment is going well? I think it's being destroyed as we speak. What are you talking about?
By Trump. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, by Trump. Oh, wow. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Trump's...
Also, how has Trump destroyed America? Tell me.
Are you serious? We have like almost 200,000 deaths over his horrendous mishandling of COVID-19.
Yo, what about
like we could just like
crisis?
Well, wait,
so
the 08 crisis?
Is the country being destroyed by Trump? Tell me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think COVID is a existential threat to the nation. I think it's a threat. I don't think it's an existential threat. Is this really what your argument is predicated on? COVID being the thing that brings America down and possibly dissolves America?
I feel like we're getting off topic a little.
Yeah.
I'm talking about existential threats to America, and you're saying that COVID is the thing that's going to bring America down.
Listen,
no.
We can talk about Trump later. Like what a wonderful job Trump is doing later.
Yeah. So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is that every single policy position that you laid out would not work in stimulating economic growth of any kind.
I told you
as a matter
that
of fact,
economics is not it's not my major concern. So.
It is of Americans, though. And Americans want a strong economy, and the way you get that is through immigration and free trade.
Again,
this is the argument that I don't understand from right-wingers.
Again, Japan is doing fine, and they don't
By
have
what
any
measure is Japan doing fine?
I
Are you
don't know. Maybe
fucking
the fact that they're
serious?
one of the most advanced countries in the world. They have a highly sophisticated and educated population. Okay, you have a very good social cohesion. You have
They are
common
dying.
culture and monoculture.
Dude,
you have a little bit of
the Japanese
of
prime minister had to resign over his terrible handling of the economy.
No, he
and
resigned
even
over his
Japanese
health.
members of parliament
Resigned
recognize
over
that they
his
have
health.
to open up borders if they don't want to fucking die and disappear into like the dustbin of history.
They will die and disappear into the dustbin of history just if they open their borders. It'll just take 200 years.
They're dying right now.
I mean,
Dude,
geez, they can solve the birth rate problem.
Hold up, dude.
I mean,
Hold up,
birth
dude.
rate problem is not a
Do you
problem
really
if
believe? Do you actually believe Japan is like a model for America, or like just a model
I
society?
didn't say it's a model for America. It's very different from America. I'm saying that it's a good example of a highly functional society, though, and a society that many people would love to live in. Okay.
Are you kidding me, dude? Japanese workers work the most hours out of any country on
Right, I'm
earth.
not saying there are problems
Workplace
there.
suicide is among the highest in the world as well.
Right, I'm not
Nobody
saying
wants to work in Japan, dude. Nobody wants to live there.
Hey, I'm not actually. That's definitely not the case. If you had to ask somebody if they'd rather live in fucking Paraguay or Colombia or Japan, I think that they'd choose Japan. Okay? Or any godforsaken place in the Middle East. Okay.
Japan, as it is now, a very closed society, is fucking dying and crumbling economically.
Not at all. Not
It
at all. I think it's gonna be
absolutely is. It absolutely is.
No, not at all. They're doing great in comparison to the rest of the world, and frankly, if you go, let's look at the human development.
By what
Let's look at a human development index of Japan. 2020. Take a look. Human development index in Japan is 0.915. Okay, positioning it at 19 out of 189 countries total. So, if you consider the Human Development Index to be a fairly credible index for the relative level of prosperity and
let me see. Do you
cohesion
know
that's in
what
Japan,
factors? Do you know what factors they look at when compiling this data?
it's
looks like it's life expectancy, education, per capita income.
Yeah, they compile a number of those metrics together. Yeah, so they're doing well. Actually,
yeah, they have very good education and a very good life expectancy. Those things are correlated just like with their culture. However, the issue with Japan is that it's completely unstable because the country is aging so fast that they can't afford to actually take care of their elderly. So they realize that they have to open their borders to foreign workers if they're actually going to provide like some semblance of a decent life for their elderly instead of having them live on the streets. Absolutely.
Not at all. If you look at the situation with automation, I know the U.S. Census Department of Labor came out this is a study a couple years back. They said by 2037, about 49% of U.S. jobs are going to be taken over by automation.
What year?
Okay. I think this is a 2008 study. They said by 2037 in the U.S., 49% of blue-collar jobs will be at grave risk of being displaced because of automation. So if you look at the effect of automation, especially in the coming decades, it's going to reduce the need for immigration or mass immigration in the coming decades by a long shot. Okay, you won't need low-skilled, low education workers to derive economic benefits, like you say. Okay,
we need that now.
Even now, you don't even need that now. Really, I mean, many jobs are being taken over by. No, and in 2 decades, you absolutely will not need it. Absolutely not. So
we're not in 2
why
decades.
would
We're in
risk
2020.
all the issues? I'm saying that 20 years is not a very long period of time. Okay, when you consider the outcome of nations. Okay, look.
Are you actually going to tell a business that says, I need workers, I can't find any workers in the U.S.? Dude, just wait 20 years. Like, what? You won't even need workers. Are you fucking serious?
Chill out. They're not having a serious issue right now, okay? They have some cultural problems. I'm not disputing that, okay? But there's nothing that's going to tear their society apart. The U.S. is being torn apart by massive polarization, political polarization, riots, strife, mayhem in the streets, crime, mass race replacement immigration. Whites are under attack for being white. I mean, statues are being toppled. I mean, there's basically an insurrection happening here in the U.S., okay? Alongside a pandemic and economic turmoil that follows from that pandemic. And you're talking about issues that are plaguing Japan as if there's some kind of dying society. It's absolutely fake news. Okay, it's just fake.
Absolutely are. Holy shit. They absolutely are a collapsing country. Oh my god.
Is the U.S. a collapsing country?
No, because we've taken a lot of, well, not even a lot of immigrants. We've
man.
taken about 1 million every year, I believe.
Oh, goodness.
And that helps us out. Yeah.
Yeah, it replaces us. Eventually, it's not going to be America anymore. Yeah. So it'll just be some. And this is just like you like to construe the world in terms of markets. I construe the world in terms of countries, okay, and peoples and societies, okay. And US really should not be a fucking global marketplace. That's not what it is. It should be a country. And a country is filled with a certain kind of people, okay, a certain culture, a certain ethos,
Like
certain
Native
values.
Americans before they got fucking genocided.
Okay. You know, there's a lot more nuance to that than you would think, and I suggest that you go look at the New Discourses position on this. Go to the newdiscourses.com, okay? And it attempts to refute the claims about the 1619 project in the New York Times that the New York Times came out with. Okay, so if you want to actually take a good historical look about what was going on during the 1700s in terms of American Indians and Europeans' relationships here, okay, and the kind of conflicts that they had and who precipitated those conflicts, go actually look at some academically verified, credible sources that are not ideological cesspools like the New York Times. Okay, go do that, and then you get back to me. Okay.
Wait, do you think it was a fucking land bridge? Sorry, no,
Okay,
stop.
look at the New Discourses.
I have to ask you. Wait, I have to ask you.
Read all about it. Okay?
Wait. Why do you care about countries?
Because I care about peoples. I want Look, I care about my people. Okay. I want my interests to be represented into the future. Okay. And that happens if I have people similar to me around me and who are a part of my society. Okay. That's how I'd be happiest. Look, I want that for every country in the world. Why should we all live under the same roof? And when we have all these conflicting interests that are diametrically opposed to each other, racial interests, ethnic interests, etc., what's the point of that?
Mean?
Just have your own roofs over your heads.
What the fuck
just
do racial interests mean? We're lefties here. We believe in exactly 180 degrees opposite of what you believe in, and most of everybody in this chat is white. There's no such thing as racial interests. Yeah.
We're putting a 10-minute timer in.
Okay.
At which point we're going to have one more question by somebody in the chat. I think it's E. And then we're gonna let Razor have a break. A little bit of
I have a question, and then E has. I have a question, then I think E's got a couple questions.
That's fine.
You can take a break after, though, if you want. After
and
Juke,
then
'cause I have a couple things I
you
want
can
to go
take
through.
a little bit of a break. We can talk about video games for a little bit, but after that, we're gonna talk about transgenders, and then I think that should conclude.
I'm not prepared for an argument. I need to do more research on that.
No, we're not doing an argument. We're not doing an. The last one's not a debate. The last one is convincing.
You're not going to convince me. I need to look at the studies independently. Okay, I need to actually see what the hell is going on with this stuff because it actually gets into the weeds a little bit with some abstract concepts like.
Okay, I thought we weren't talking about this.
Yeah, never mind. Let's continue on with.
We'll play it by an ear. So go ahead, set the 10-minute timer, and you guys continue.
Okay.
I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer.
Okay.
Okay, so where were we? We were basically saying that the countries are not economic zones. That's my position. At least they shouldn't be. They should not be economic zones. They should be countries. They should be a common culture, a common heritage, a common value structure. I mean, a common people. That's what I want a country to be. Okay, I don't want a country where we're all just fighting each other in this kind of tribal squabbles that we do now. And these kind of squabbles manifest in riots like BLM and Antifa and et cetera, et cetera. And, I mean, there's so many different factions at play now who all have...
You realize, like, what you're saying is, like, completely arbitrary, right? Like, you realize that. Like, I live in the Northeast. Like, people from the Northeast of the U.S., completely different from Southerners, people from the West Coast and the Midwest. Like, we do not share a culture. Like, we are very different and behave very differently.
I'm not
so, like, where do you
that.
fucking draw this line?
Oh, well, this is why I think that America is too big of a country. It's too big, quite literally, geographically, it's too large.
Where do you draw the line?
It's situated too many people, okay? And maybe more localized governments, maybe some kind of balkanization is necessary for some kind of semblance of peace to happen. So.
But that's not balkanization among racial lines. It's among cultural lines.
A lot of this balkanization already happens along racial lines. If you go look at the demographic makeup of DC by district in DC or by zones or regions
But like
within
half
DC,
black, yeah.
you can literally see, that the Asians all live around each other, the Hispanics all live around each other, the blacks all live around each other, and the whites all live around each other in their own little ethnic neighborhoods, okay? So this kind of stuff already happens. It'd be so easy to put into policy. I mean,
no, it wouldn't.
It really would be. It would be
No.
very easy to put this in policy that this is allowed in a legal sense. Okay, that you can legally
Just because
segregate.
people live
legally
next
get
to
away
each
from
other
being
that are similar doesn't mean that you can just
Because they-
segregate workplaces, segregate like other cultural gatherings. Like, are you going to have like white concerts and black concerts?
Let me
Are you gonna have,
clarify.
like, okay,
Let me clarify. This is voluntary engagement, right? So if blacks want to have their own restaurants and concerts and storefronts and cities, even, okay, I'm totally fine with that. If they set a rule that says whitey not allowed or any other people not allowed, fine. I'm for that. Why would I be opposed to that? As long as whites are afforded the same privileges, the same legal privileges, which they're not, of course. So, I mean, look at, and this is the case, just go look at what's happening at Harvard right now. They want their own dorms. Blacks want their own dorms at Harvard. There's big stories about this. We want segregated dorms away from whitey. That's what they're saying. Oh, I mean, there you go.
Trust you
So
because like
if whites tried to do that, they'd be
you
excoriated
couldn't
as
even
Nazis. Oh gosh,
you
no.
couldn't even substantiate the claim about the Jacob Blake shooting. So I highly
What are we
do not
doing
trust
about-
you.
oh my
I do
goodness.
not trust you to like properly represent any news story. So I'm not going to take your word on that one, Chief.
All right, segregated dorms. This is fairly, let's see, American colleges offering segregated dorms. Okay. Let's see what I can do there. Yeah, so here, I'll post this. This is one example of this. This is at Williams College. I know this was the case at Harvard as well. Seems like a lot of these, I will say that Tim Pool does a good job at finding sort of headlines that are pretty inflammatory. What would you say? Maybe like politically fraught, and doing a good expose on them. But
I would say Tim
they're
does a
actually
really good job of finding headlines. He's very good at finding headlines. I'd agree.
I'll say that some of the stuff is actually not very easy to find because I think a lot of these places just take their articles down after they're posted. So, I mean, maybe he's using the Wayback Machine, etc. I don't know. But, so yeah, I mean, there's calls for segregation in terms of housing at colleges now. Okay, blacks are saying that, oh, we don't want to be around whitey anymore. We already have black-only colleges in essence. I mean, these places are basically, they're called historically black colleges. What were they called?
They're HBCUs, but they're not black
HBCUs.
only.
Well, they're almost black only, so they're like 99% black. And I would imagine they take pretty good measures intended to keep that kind of ethnic makeup. Although I would doubt many people would want to go to a 99% black college if you're not black. But yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff already exists. These people are basically allowed to self-segregate, right? They're basically permitted to do so, and they're permitted to be open about doing so, and they're celebrated for it. In fact, if whites tried this, here's another double standard. They would be considered Nazis and evil racists, and etc.
So even from the link that you sent, and among others that I quickly read, these are not being like championed or celebrated. Like people are saying that like we shouldn't have segregated housing. They're actually denouncing.
Well, I'm saying that there's subsections of blacks who are asking for this in a sizable enough number to such that there's headlines about it. Okay.
Yeah, there
So,
are
we're not-
whites that want that too. I don't understand.
Really? I haven't heard anything about white segregated dorms and colleges or white only colleges.
Dude, Wasn't there like a
Well,
big
where's
thing
that?
about
I
like
wasn't
white
sure about
nationalist college students like posting white nationalist propaganda on college campuses, like
Where was this?
over
Tell
like
me.
dozens of them? No, this
Where
was
was
like years ago. I think this was still when Milo Yiannopoulos was still doing his college tour.
White
People were
national.
posting like really like white nationalist propaganda.
White nationalist propaganda. Ooh. I mean, look, how is that relevant? I mean, again,
You just said that white kids don't do it, and they have in the past on college.
really, are they advocating for segregated dorms? Really, are they? And have they actually achieved that? And segregated graduation ceremonies and events? Really? I mean, they haven't achieved. No, they don't even ask for this stuff because they would be considered Nazis for doing so, and their lives would be ruined. Every person involved would have their lives ruined.
I mean, yeah, rightfully so.
They'd probably be doxxed. So wait, hold on, Roxy. Okay, so blacks are allowed to do this, but whites are not. That's what you're saying. So whites are evil for doing this, but blacks are not evil for doing this. Is that correct?
No, I still think it's pretty evil that blacks would be doing it.
I'm sorry. So you think
I
it's
still
okay
think
for
it's pretty.
blacks?
No, I said I still think it's pretty evil that a black person would want segregation. I don't like segregation.
Why is that evil for them to want segregation? What if they feel like they're being oppressed by a society that's not a fit for them? And maybe maybe they want to have their own society.
I mean, if I were to say something about this, it's the way I sort of see it is kind of just like us following in the footsteps of the great white man, quote unquote. It's kind of the way that I see it. Like it's very like backwards for us to be like, all right, so we spent like the past over 100 years trying to like bring our races together, and now we're just like, hey, maybe this wasn't a good idea, so we'll just like separate. Like that doesn't seem
right. So maybe it isn't a good idea. Maybe some blacks are actually coming to that conclusion, like they did in the past, such as you have characters like Louis Farrakhan, characters like Malcolm X, who wanted to return to Africa.
Okay,
have
hold
their
on.
own black ethnic.
And let me stop you there. Are you talking about young or old Malcolm X?
I was talking about
You're
Malcolm X walked back all of those after he took his Hajj. He disavowed all of that stuff he talked about white nationalism or black nationalism with.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay, well, what about Louis Farrakhan tried to create a new society?
I'm not surprised.
Oh, Louis Farrakhan is a horribly racist, anti-Semitic, like.
Wait! According to the left, no one except white people can be racist, though. So I mean,
wait.
How could he?
No, Louis Farrakhan is considered a hate leader by like any organization that tracks these things.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's
think
been deplatformed on like everything.
All right.
I think he's a guy who cares about his people and wants to have a society away from whitey, which is fine by me. So
All right. So we only have like a minute left. So,
let's see if I can agree on one thing first. Okay, do you agree that there are double standards at play when you consider what whites are allowed to explicitly advocate for in terms of racial interests, and when you consider other groups explicitly advocating for racial interests? Is there a double standard?
I would
whites
say
are not allowed to do this, or other groups are allowed to do this. Basically.
Yes, but that's because of the systemic situation of whites and blacks. But that is a completely different debate to what we're having. Regarding the Great Replacement, this isn't anything new. Populations change all the fucking time. Demographics of any country, sometimes they get older, sometimes they get younger. Religious makeup of countries changes as well, from war, but as well as immigration, and comparing the two or equivocating them is absolutely fucking idiotic. Regarding Japan, your society is literally almost a mirror image of Japan, and Japan is on course to fucking collapse unless it actually changes and brings in more people.
You guys have
dude.
Wait one second, everyone. Please pause. Please pause. I need to say something. All right.
Okay.
So, it's very important to understand historical events. So, just so you know, Malcolm X changed his mind on that after going to Mecca, his pilgrimage, and then he died a year later. So when you say old Malcolm X, it was just 1 year later. So.
No. He was killed in a shooting. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So Malcolm X went on his Hajj, met people of all different cultures and races, and realized that they were all as children, and that like they all should be treated exactly the same.
Listen, I know. It's just when people refer to him as old Malcolm X, it's like, what are you talking about?
Well, and he wrote about how everything he said about black separatism was wrong and stupid. And
yeah.
Okay,
He denounced black separatism, but he didn't denounce like the black empowerment though. Just the separatism part, which is important.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course he wouldn't. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The 10 minutes is done, by the way.
Well, wait, can we just finish this? Can we give it one more minute?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have a closing
one more
statement.
minute. All right, sure.
I'll say that this idea that what's a good closing statement here?
Do you love black people?
I think I've said all I need to say. Yeah, I've done everything out. I mean, there's a double standard. There's racial double standards at play, and whites have a right to exist and have their interests represented in this country, and that's really what it comes down to. And in the near future, this won't be the case. They're not going to have the political capital to adequately represent themselves in a society that's stacked against them, and it already is stacked against them. It's going to be ever more so the case when we lose majority status. No country in the history of the world ever voluntarily allowed themselves to be relegated to minority status when they are the majority within that country. No country has ever allowed it to happen. Okay?
The Anglo-Saxons did when they invited the Irish and the Italians.
We're done. We're done. We're gonna move on. We're moving on. I appreciate everyone. I think so. We're gonna move on to Jupiter. He has a question.
Yeah, I got a quick. I got a little. Okay, so it was like one of your big problems with the immigration from the southern border. Is that you don't think they'll assimilate and be able to be work the same in American culture as the other white immigrants like the Irish and the Italians that immigrated over and have kind of and now we don't kind of notice the difference between them. Like that's one of your big issues. I'm trying to define terms here.
Can you be a little bit more succinct? I'm trying to get what you're getting at. So you're saying what are you asking what my issue is with Hispanic immigration?
Well, you think it's like one of the big things is you think it's an assimilation issue because we've had mass immigration from Italians and Irishmen, and they've integrated pretty well. And I think you talk about Europeans all the time, so you're fine with that. And you don't think that the Mexican immigrants will be able to immigrate to the same degree to where they just flawlessly are in our society.
No, I'd argue that they're incapable of doing that. Yeah. Yes. I would argue that.
Okay. Yeah. So I was doing a little so. I've got a little quote about this, and I want you to I'm curious if you think it's an accurate representation of Mexican immigrants in America. So once in America, the immigrants faced great challenges, often with no knowledge of the English language and with little formal education. Many of the immigrants were compelled to accept low-wage manual labor jobs and were frequently exploited by the middlemen who acted as intermediaries between them and the prospective employers. Many sought housing in the older sections of the cities where they settled that became known as Little Mexicos, frequently in overcrowded substandard tenements which were often dimly lit with poor heating and ventilation. Is that a good sum up of it and why you don't think that the Mexican immigrants could really settle in?
I mean, I would say that you pointed out to certain things that are the case. I don't know if that's an explanatory.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that summation? Do you agree with that summation of it?
Okay, they have their own ethnic enclaves. They vote very, very differently from white America, on average. There's language and there's linguistic, cultural barriers at play. There's problems with crime, of course. So I would say that I don't want these people here. I want them in.
Okay. Everything I just read was about Italian immigrants in the early 1900s, and they've completely flawlessly integrated into our cultures.
What's your point? I'm confused.
I mean, you just agree.
No, I agree with two sentences.
All of these things. All of these things were issues with Italians, and you agreed with that.
No, okay, you pointed out that they lived in dimly lit.
Sneaky Jew tactics. You saw
that?
Wait,
no. Okay, I'll repeat it for you. Everything.
Why do you think
you
this
said.
is some kind of? You're acting like this is a gotcha moment when it's not. I'm confused. I gave my explanations as to why Hispanics are not.
They didn't speak any fucking English. They were constantly committing crimes. They lived in their own little sections. They didn't work well-paid jobs. They didn't have any education, and now like they're fine. Now you don't know who's Italian or shit. Like, okay, you can go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead. Yeah. So I mean, if you
Okay,
look
so
at
basically
if you look at their political inclinations, it's probably very similar to white America now. So.
Yeah, that's a really good meme. You definitely saved that. Gotcha. Okay, so I pretty much want to have actually like a specific discussion about the economic effects of immigration. So I know during your little stump speech about what would you do if you were a politician, you said that you wanted to reduce offshoring. Is that correct? This is a yes or no question.
Do I want to? Yeah.
Well, actually, there are lots of studies that show that immigration can actually reduce offshoring. Did you know that?
How is that? Tell me.
Yeah, I can link them. So also, immigration has pretty much no effect on wages overall. So, like for example, like by increasing the size of the U.S. IT sector, overall worker incomes increased by like 0.1% overall. So all wages went up for all American workers. Like, do you have any downsides to immigration in the economy at all? Can you name one?
Well, first off, it does take away our middle America's manufacturing jobs. It goes to illegals and et cetera, et cetera.
Wait.
This is why Trump decided.
Wait. No. Wait. No, that's not true though. Just because they take their jobs, generally when they take their jobs, they move to jobs that they pay better wages. So let's see if I can find this. Okay. So, like for example, low-skilled like workers, so Mexican migrant workers taking up manual work in the United States had close to a zero effect on the native employment in that occupation, which means the effect of Mexican workers on U.S. employment outside of the work was most likely positive since they raised economic productivity. Also, wait, I remember reading this. Okay. Sorry, one sec. Fuck, I lost it.
Like I said, my argument doesn't hinge on economics.
Okay, but can you name like?
Why would you want Hispanics here when you consider their interracial crime stats?
Wait, what causes crime? I'm not going to let you just say that. Like, what do you mean? Like, do you think it's just their race that causes crime? That's pretty dumb. Like, don't you have any other reasons? Like, can you think of another reason that would cause crime?
Well, their race is part of it.
No, it's not. Do you have any literature that would suggest that?
Yeah, if you look at, sure, I can find it.
I want to study. I don't want statistics. Statistics are useless.
Before he quotes the fucking bell curve.
No, I want a study that says that like because of their race, they commit more crime.
Yeah, you can go look at Richard Lynn's Race Differences in Psychopathic Personality and Evolutionary Analysis. Okay.
Wait. Okay. What does it say? Wait, this is like an entire book.
So, yes, and there was a study done by Richard Lynn. Okay.
Okay. Who's Richard Lynn? It's a controversial English psychologist and author.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He actually lost his title of a professor at a university. Wow. He's a white supremacist journal. Wow. Okay. This guy's totally bummed. Do you have any like actually respected sources for this? Many guys criticize Lynn's work on racial differences, misrepresenting data, and for promoting.
All right, everyone's talking at once. Calm down.
He's a distinguished scientist.
No, he's not. He's actually lost his position. He's not distinguished. He's incredibly
Richard.
So, like, if you look at what he did, okay, it's funny. White supremacist, when he considers Asians to be smarter than whites, and then he also considers Asians to have less degree of psychopathic personality traits in terms of their prevalence than whites.
I don't care what his opinion is. He's totally discredited.
White supremacist? That doesn't really follow. I mean,
what are you talking about? So you cited one guy who's massively discredited in his field as evidence. I asked you for a specific claim. By the way, I asked you for evidence that Hispanics commit more crime, and then you cite a book from a discredited psychologist.
Where is the discreditation? Where?
Okay.
It's
from his position at the university. Yeah.
It's also from the entire academic community. So what happened is he got cited a lot in the book The Bell Curve. I'm sure you're familiar with what the bell curve is and what it propagates. So one of the biggest controversies surrounding it was their reliance on Lin and his data, because he had been so discredited, and a lot of his research documents failed to take into account almost any level of socioeconomic standings within him, and also conflated data and actually misrepresented and lied about data studies.
So if you can,
So that's why
provide-
he got. So
if you
that's
can
why he
provide-
got fucking discredited, because he's a weaselly little liar, dude. He's still lying.
If you can provide a study, and we can
A study about everybody hating him. What?
Okay, the only things that I've claimed are economics claims. I can provide a study for every single thing that I said economically. I asked you for a citation on the fact that Hispanics commit more crime because of their race. That was your claim. Now, can you back that up?
Right. So this is an explanatory factor for that. Racial differences in psychopathic personality.
This is from a discredited psychologist.
Oh, well, then, you don't like my resources. I don't know
no
what
likes
I don't
him.
like your resources, but I still look at them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I can look at like fucking like Christian theologists on opinions on evolution. This is ridiculous. You can't cite a discredited person. Like, do you have any peer-reviewed studies?
every source is discredited in your estimation. That's why. Okay.
No, it's not.
Everyone that I come up with. Yeah.
You literally like you've cited one thing. How would you know that I consider everything you cite to be false if you only cited a single thing?
I'm gonna hold on one second. Let's see.
And also like this IQ stuff is total bullshit. We don't have to talk about that, but
it's total bullshit. Even though it's been substantiated,
yes,
even the
there
left.
No, there are more than 500 genes that are associated with IQ, and none of them are associated with hereditary.
Even
IQ is hereditary, but it's not associated with Klein's.
Okay,
and IQ itself is kind of pointless. Like, I have a high IQ and I'm a fucking idiot. So,
do you know? Hang on. Do you know the origins of IQ and IQ testing?
Wait. I want to study on that people commit more crime because of their race.
I already provided you the study, and if you want to take a look at it, then you can take a look at it. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm not gonna look.
Okay, so you're just going to cite a single discredited, and you're going to feel comfortable about yourself. You're going to go to bed tonight, and you're going to think, a single psychologist is actually kicked out of university. Oh, that makes me feel so good. Oh, my worldview is complete.
Yeah, well, considering the universities are full of a bunch of leftist shills anyway. I mean,
all of science is wrong sometimes. Are you joking? So you're the one that said, wait, Razorcore. Did you just not tell me that I would discredit every single site, and now you're telling me that all of academia is full of leftist frauds? Because it kind of sounds like you're doing the exact same thing that you accused me of doing that.
No,
what did you just say? What did you just say? You said academia is full of leftists?
Is that controversial to say that they have a left-wing bias? Are you kidding me?
Oh, well,
no.
Reality
have a left-wing bias.
Yeah, reality has a left-wing bias, unfortunately. Yeah.
What's the reality? Wait, how is that the case? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, well, okay. So if all of academia appears to have a left-wing bias, and the scientific method.
Oh, wait! Don't dodge. Don't dodge.
Wait, what do you mean?
I have a question.
How does reality have a left-wing bias? Yes.
Bias?
Sure. So how do we determine what represents reality? Okay, so I can answer that question. We do it by using empirical evidence, like surveys and science. Yeah. So if all of the academics who conduct research lean left, that means the people that closely engage with the facts of the world also lean left. So these are the people you would judge to have the best picture of reality, especially within their own specific fields.
That's only if you deem them to be credible, which in many cases they're not credible.
I mean, the only person. You're the one
yeah,
that doesn't have the credible psychologist.
You're saying that the political inclinations of people who are involved in science studies.
No, they get their political inclinations based off the facts they have. No, the political inclinations come second to the facts that they observe.
Yeah, no, they don't. If that were the
Do you have any
case,
citations for that?
that were the case, you wouldn't honestly believe that there were an infinite number of genders, okay? Or that, okay, you wouldn't.
What? I never said that. That's a really, really good pivot. It's really fun. I
Actually,
like that.
it's
but,
a really good segue to our next topic.
Yeah,
which
the next
is...
conversation Razorcore was too scared to have.
What conversation?
That's okay. Like, if you ever find a study on like race and crime, you can feel free to link that to me. From like a person that's actually credible, though.
So,
like, I know that you probably won't be able to find any because your worldview isn't credible at all. But if you find one, let me know.
I know your worldview is one that. Wait, I need to respond to this real quick. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you have the last word on it. Everyone else, shut up after he finishes.
Listen to the person who was just talking to me. Okay, you understand that. I know your worldview is predicated on the belief that white people are evil and that they are systematically oppressing non-whites. Well, no, that's entailed. Let me explain why it's entailed.
I didn't say systematically. Nobody says systematically.
Actually, the left actually does say the word systematically and intentionally.
Systemic, not systematically. You know what the difference is between those two words?
Fucking thing, bro. Don't get
Wait, they're not
you're
the
so
same
fucking
thing.
dumb. Oh my god. No wonder you're a fucking Nazi. Oh my god.
All right, everyone, relax.
We're not
and let
getting
him
into
finish
semantics.
Just say some dumb shit. He has to substantiate.
All right.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna make a deductive argument here. Okay.
You won't be able to make a deductive argument.
Let him try to make a deductive argument.
Wait, okay, what's deductive mean?
I'm actually gonna reference one of your heroes. Okay.
Wait, Razorcore. What does deductive mean? Just first of all.
No, shut up.
No, I'm gonna make a fucking argument, and then we're gonna do that.
I just forgot what it means, buddy. You're really smart.
We're gonna be here for a year,
All right,
please.
mods, can you mute this guy so I can make my argument, please?
I am the mod.
Can you mute yourself so you can have his argument, please?
All
I'll
right,
mute
so
myself here.
I requestfully ask for 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. So here's what it is. I'm gonna make a deductive
2-minute
argument.
timer. Hey Google. 2-minute timer starting now. Afterwards, will you be able to define deductive for me, just for fun?
No, shut up.
Are you gonna shut up? Okay. So listen very carefully. I'm gonna reference one of your heroes, Ibram Kandi, the guy who wrote How to Be an Anti-Racist. Okay, so he said explicitly in his book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, that if we truly believe that all races are entirely equal, then any disparities in outcome must be attributable to oppression and discrimination. I 100% agree with that statement. Okay. But the issue isn't discrimination and oppression, and the issue is the fact that this belief, this false belief that we're all equal in every way, which is not the case. Okay. So if you honestly believe that there aren't racial, if you think that the disparities in outcome are not, okay, hold on, one second. So
we just have to substantiate this.
Right. So I'm gonna substantiate. Let me try to formulate this correctly. Okay. So
he just quoted one of your heroes, though.
Yeah, I did. I quoted Ibram Kandi. Okay. So I agree with his statement on this. So if holy shit, I'm drawing a super hard blank right now. Okay, so if we honestly believe,
I know.
Right. Okay. So if we honestly believe that all races are equal, then it follows that there would never be any disparities or any statistically significant disparities in outcome if we live in a fair society. Okay. But we don't live in but there are not. But we, holy shit.
That's okay. Take your time. Like, I know you're having some trouble with English. It's probably not your first language. Probably an immigrant or something.
Stop these ad homs. All right, stop it.
I'm not making an argument. It's not an ad hom.
Stop antagonizing him.
No.
Fucking asshole.
Look, I agree with Ibram Kandi here. Okay, so if all races are equal in every way, okay, then there wouldn't be any statistically significant disparities. Okay, are you gonna fucking seriously, dude? Come on.
Please stop. Just let him finish this.
He's been interrupting every 10 seconds in this fucking spiel.
Okay, go. It's okay. Don't be a snowflake. Go ahead.
Okay. Ibram Kandi is correct. Okay. If we actually do believe that there are all races are entirely equal in every way, okay, and there really should not be any statistically significant disparities in outcome between races. Okay. But the problem is there are statistically significant outcomes between races. Therefore, we live in a system that is designed to oppress. Okay, it's entailed that they oppress that the white majority, the people who are doing well, are oppressing minorities. They're keeping the people who are not doing well down, blacks and Hispanics. Okay, they're keeping these people down. So that's entailed. Okay, it's entailed if you believe that, in terms of the equality of all races, it's entailed if you believe in egalitarianism, that there's wrongdoing on part of whites on the part of white society. Okay, that's entailed. You can't spiel your way out of this one saying that all races are entirely equal. We're entirely equal in terms of cognitive ability. There's no differences between cognitive ability in terms, if you look at it by clines or races. Okay, and guess what? You can't say that and then say that white people are evil and that they haven't created a system that is designed to oppress blacks. You can't say both of those things at the same time. You cannot do it because it is entailed that there is a problematic system in place if these other groups are failing, given the egalitarianism in nature, according to your belief. Okay?
All right.
So
We're going to take a...
That makes no sense.
We're gonna.
Okay.
We're not gonna allow.
Wait,
We're gonna take a break.
Grain of an argument for you to understand.
Wait. He just said something. I want him to clear something up. Why does that mean white people evil? Why do you think we're moralizing like that?
Because it absolutely is moralizing like that. When you say that whites are created a society that's systemically racist to the core, they're white supremacist. It's designed to intentionally cause the demise of blacks. I've seen numerous articles.
No, not intentionally. No.
Oh, no. I've seen numerous articles. One from the Guardian.
No one here is saying that.
Okay. So the left in general says this kind of stuff.
Okay, no one cares. We're not saying that.
Straw man.
So also, how could it not be the case that if we're all equal in that? Hold on. So how could it not be the case that?
No, I'm asking you, why is it the case? You can't ask like, why is it? How could it not be the case?
I just explained why it's the case. If your worldview is egalitarianism and all groups are entirely equal in every way, okay, then it must be the fault of a problematic or unfair, unjust system that's keeping down.
And why does that make white people evil?
Okay. Because whites are the people who created such.
No.
Yeah.
That's what you're not getting. No, we would say it's systemic. It is not white people.
Who the fuck created the system, bro?
It doesn't matter. That doesn't make them evil. Evil would imply intent.
Was it not intentional? Really?
And we don't look. What? No, not necessarily. No.
Also, has at any point in time has any person in this voice call claimed that all people are completely equal with no discrepancies in any of them at all?
Yeah, you guys subscribe to the worldview of egalitarianism. There's no.
That's really nice, straw man.
No difference in cognitive ability across clients or races.
You have to. Razor. You have to understand that not all leftists think the same way. Like, there's a bunch of leftists who think that Kyle was not justified, whereas like the majority of us here believe that he was justified. Like, you can't lump all the leftists. He is my neighbor, actually. So it's, you shouldn't like blanket term everyone, like assume the positions. Although I understand why it would be easy to do so. Like, there's a lot of negative.
Look, let me explain this.
Assumptions.
Wait, Razorcore, you're okay. Wait, this is actually going to be constructive. This is going to be constructive. Can you write it? Can you just write down your argument instead? Because you seem to be tripping over your words. So I just like to see like premise.
No, I don't
one.
think you understand the argument. That's the problem.
Well, yeah. So can you write it down for me so I can like read it? I think that would work well.
Yeah. After this, we can take like a 2-minute or so break.
Yeah, just take some time, write it out in like in a clear way, because I think we're both flustered, we're having some trouble. So just write it down for me, okay?
Yeah. In the meantime, I appreciate you coming here. I apologize for Jim. I blame all naughty things that happen on Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're not blaming it on the Jew this time.
I think we all agree. I think we all agree that it's Jim's fault.
The black Jew.
Yeah, the black Jew.
Wait, you're Jewish now too?
Oh, yeah, my father's Jewish, dude.
Oh, shit.
Like, unironically, yeah.
Was he a practicing Jew, or was he just like, one of the other ones?
He wasn't religious, but
Those damn other
he's
Jews.
culturally Jewish. So like we celebrate Hanukkah and stuff like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, which high corporation does he own that controls the world?
He was a regional manager for FedEx.
Of course.
Have you heard of this place called The Moon?
Impressed?
Oh, yeah, the Moon is the place that Donald Trump wants to spend taxpayer dollars having it manned 24/7.
We gotta take the Jews out somehow.
That's
There's
that's what the
his
moon
damn
is.
space Jews coming in
Why
here.
do you think we gave the Space Force guns?
True. Kill all those damn space Jews.
I'm not gonna lie, I really like. Even though Trump may have had some questionable choices, the Space Force was undoubtedly the coolest thing he did.
Wait, he hasn't done it yet. Let's not give him credit for. He hasn't done anything with the Space Force. He's just said
he
he's going to
hasn't
do it.
done anything in general, right?
I just hope that like he selects 5 people and gives them super cool suits that are color coded like the Power Rangers. That's all I want.
And then they just blow up like as soon as they lift off, and he's like,
"Oh no!"
And he's
Don't
like,
say that.
"It's Antifa. They sabotaged the rocket."
That sounds
Don't
pretty
say
based. I'd probably sabotage a Space Force rocket.
Our ability to make
If you
rockets that don't
sabotage me.
kill the passengers has
Hell
advanced so
yeah,
far.
Jazz.
Nice. I don't know if that's gay or not. Kind of hoping it
Oh,
is.
it's super fucking gay. It's so
Amazing.
fucking gay, Jazz.
Yes. Yes, Queen. Fucking wait. What's that?
I saw those pictures you were posting.
Yeah, I'm back.
Can I get a cringe in chat for unironic yes queen?
Vox, after Razor leaves, I need a conversation with you. Okay.
Yes, dear God.
I think the correct term
You
is.
trying to fight me?
I
You
get it.
know, Jim,
don't
you
wanna
know
go
it's
to-
impossible to
I don't wanna
convince
go
me
to
of
jail for
anything.
manslaughter. Listen, that wouldn't
It's
go well for you.
It's
I'm
impossible
immortal,
to kill
Jim.
stupidity.
I'm immortal.
I don't know. Kyle Rittenhouse did a good job of killing some pretty stupid people.
True.
My neighbor would never do that. My boy Kyle would never.
Yeah, but
I'm going to his 18th birthday party in prison.
Yes, Queen. Do you think? Did you guys hear about like the one place where they put like where they gave like the violent prisoners estrogen for like completely like valid medical reasons, and everyone was like, they're trying to turn the criminals gay. Like,
Wasn't it to lower aggression levels or something?
Yeah, absolutely, and it is like.
And it was just a study on it, right? It was just to see, and I think it was voluntary at that, right?
I don't know about that, but I'm just imagining like, you know, like it's just Kyle, and then Kyle comes out of prison, and then it's just like Kylie.
And then she still kills 2 more communists.
True. And then they're just like, yes, Queen, more female domestic terrorists.
You can take the man out of the man, but you can't take the urge to kill.
You can take the man out of the man, but you can't take the AR-15 out of my hands.
Oh, that's a good one.
We need
I
more
made the
black
argument in,
trans women drone pilots.
True.
Right. So,
Can I get,
what is the purpose of that, guys? Why do we need that? Tell me.
Oh, it's sarcasm. It's
All
a
right,
joke.
so
I don't.
Oh, I actually think you guys believe that. Though. That's the thing.
Wait, no, I'm literally making fun of liberals because, like,
right.
Like, we don't need more black, we don't need more representation in bad things.
More
like,
black war
liberals
criminals.
Yeah. Liberals want more black CEOs, whereas I don't want CEOs.
Yeah, why does it, for purportedly people who are anti-racist, right? So people who are ostensibly anti-racist. Why does it matter what race the CEOs are? Like, what does
Because
that
they're
matter?
idiots, which is why we hate the libs.
Wait. The reason is because it's already disproportionately white. That would be the reason. But like, I don't want CEOs of any kind. I want like.
Wait. If you're anti-racist and you're an egalitarian race, right? Okay. Then why would it matter what race the CEOs are? Isn't that a racist thing to do?
Wait, no, because if they're all white, that's a
race
problem. If every single one of them is white, that's a problem.
Why is that a problem, though? I don't understand. Unless you have something against white people, I don't know. Like, do you have something against white
so it's a problem because we can look at the other material circumstances of the people that live in America, and we know that black people don't really have the access to those positions. If there was complete egalitarian access to all things and only the CEOs were white, then sure, I wouldn't give a fuck. But black people don't have the same access to things as white people do to be able to get to those positions.
Part of that is just because of demographic. I mean, they're only 13% of the population. I mean,
Wait, but they're not 13% of the CEOs.
Despite making 13% of the
right,
population.
I understand that, but you have to understand that there's other factors at play here other than just the proportion of
Well,
the
then why
population.
did you bring up the demographics?
Because that's a part of it. Okay, when you're only 13% of the population, you don't have as many connections and sort of influence as 62% of the population.
Wait,
okay?
why can't black people have the same connections as why can't white people be connected to black people?
Because they're largely self-segregated. What are you talking about, dude? I already told you.
Self-segregated. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
I
mean, like,
remember that part.
yeah, I heard that there's a study that came out that says 75% of white people don't even have one black friend. Okay? Not one.
Wait, okay.
And what? That's the black people's fault?
Wait.
Question mark?
Oh, I mean, so that's it's indicative. I'm not saying it's
I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of black friends though.
All right, well, I'm saying that 75% of white people don't have one black friend. Just because
Do
you
you
have
have
a
any
black
black?
friend,
Do you have any
doesn't make
black friends? Do you have any black friends, Razorcore?
No, I don't.
Jews
Oh, why don't you have any? Why don't you have any black? You should meet some black people. They're really nice.
No, thanks. I'm not.
They make good music. They're good at basketball.
No.
Wait, what?
Do you like to play basketball, Razorcore?
Wait, you're saying they're superior in basketball because of their
Wait,
race?
did I say superior? Why are you putting words in my mouth? Why are you putting words? I just said they're good at it. I didn't say they're superior. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
The reason that Black Americans are taller on average is because of us.
Are they even taller on average? Is that true?
Yeah. They're taller on average, but not because they're black. Because if you look at Africa, that's not the case. Yeah. So the reason that they're taller on average is because of selected breeding. Who knows how that happened? Who knows how that happened?
If only there was some kind of commodity form of height. If only that had happened based on the yeah.
Why is this invalid? Can someone explain this to me?
Oh,
What,
sure.
can you what is it?
Very clearly. Sure. So, like, the first premise, that's a universal claim. The second one, it's not a universal claim. It has nothing to do with the first one. The
Wait,
races
why?
are equal there, because it's not a universal claim.
Wait, what do you mean by universal in this case? You need to break this down for me.
Sure. I know that you don't know anything about this, so I can explain it slowly. So, what I mean by universal claim are claims that say something about an entire category of things, an entire set. Not some part of that set, but the entirety of it. So, like, you make something about a claim about all of the races, that they are all equal. If that's not the first premise, then we can change it. Are you okay with that? Are you okay?
No, I'm not changing anything. This is the argument. I don't understand.
Okay, cool.
If you do believe that all races are equal, and given disparities in outcome across races, that entails an unjust system that's causing that. It doesn't entail some natural. There's no natural implicator here. There's no natural implicator here that's causing the disparities in outcome. It's caused by an unjust society. It's the only thing it could be. It's the environment that we live in.
Your argument doesn't assert that, though.
It does.
Where? Can you point to where?
The races are equal. There are disparities in outcome across races. Therefore, we live in an unjust society.
Wait, no, that's a jump. You need to bridge that jump between premise 2 and conclusion. Bridge that jump. Why does that entail that?
Let's see. Let me think about this for a second. Because it's either the disparities are caused by natural inequality through an example of this would be like cognitive ability, or it's caused by something else, which is artificially constructed, such as a society, a system, a system that's unjust, because it must be unjust.
Natural inequality, or environmental inequality, correct?
Yes. So it would be, that's something, exactly.
Sure, so now you need to assert that it isn't the case that it's due to natural inequality. And I guess you could say that the first premise does that. However, you need to define what you mean by equal. What do you mean by equal?
Because if you mean by the general definition of equal, as in like they're completely the same, that would not be the case. But if you mean something else, like you could define it as something else, and it could work.
But it's not even valid right now. Like we don't have to talk about the soundness of it, right?
Well, that is the fundamental claim, though, is that all races are equal. That we do subscribe.
No. But what do you mean by equal?
Who in this voice chat has actually made that claim?
No, because this is entailed. Because they say it's a social construction. The race is a social construction. I mean,
what do you mean by equal?
biological racial differences present?
Wait, why do you keep?
Well, we acknowledge that black people are taller than white people. So what do you mean by equal? Because we acknowledge that. So like, what do you mean by equal? Like you have to elaborate because we don't know what you mean by equal.
Okay, how about equal in metrics that determine outcome? I'll modify it. Okay.
Alright, so like when you're talking about outcome, are you talking about like economic outcome? Are you talking about
like outcome? We'll just go with that.
Intelligence.
Wait. Okay, so
or-
metrics that determine outcome. Okay, we would disagree. There are some quote unquote races that like are more economically well off than other quote unquote races, and that's one of like the biggest metrics to determining outcome. Like, no one's saying they're equal.
Oh, this is so stupid. The definition that you just gave for equal, like equal in terms of the metrics that determine outcome, that says nothing about the cause of that inequality. It does nothing. It doesn't say if it comes from natural causes or through social environment. It doesn't say that.
I'm a little confused.
We
Oh,
know.
sure.
We can all agree on that.
I don't know. Like, so do you think that this is an issue? Okay, let's take a look at Ibram Kendi's statement, because I'm basically reiterating Ibram Kendi's statement. Okay?
Before we go on to that, who in here believes what Ibram Kendi has said?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who believes this?
I have no fucking idea. I don't know why you're projecting it onto us.
Oh, this is a good question. I want to know.
I don't know what my boy Ibram said. What did my boy Ibram
I don't know if I agree or not because it's not defined very well. Probably
I think
not.
it's defined perfectly well. I don't see where is the ambiguity present here, because I don't see it. Okay.
Okay, so would we say in here that no one in here, until further clarification, believes in what Ibram Kendi has said?
Yep.
Yes. So why did you bring this up, Razorcore? If you brought it up because most of the left believes that, we aren't most of the left. If you haven't noticed, the left isn't just 6 people.
Well, then I have a question. Okay, so this actually brings us to the next question then. So if there aren't any differences, if there are no substantive racial differences that account for outcomes, naturally speaking, okay, then what is causing the outcome disparities then? If it's not,
we have to actually study that. There are studies for that.
Are you saying it's not discrimination and oppression? I don't see what else could it be. Is it just?
We're saying that your argument doesn't prove that. That's all we're saying. We're not making any claims.
Did his brain break?
Yeah, I think it did. Because it seems to me like this is not a very contentious statement to say that it's either natural or it's the environment. Okay, and if it's not, if it's
claims either
not natural,
wait, I wouldn't say or necessarily either.
Why?
It could be
Wait,
both.
what do you mean? It could be both?
So you are saying that there's differences in terms of races that are natural?
No, we're saying. Oh my!
What an idiot!
We're not saying any.
I'm being told, man.
We're not making any claims here. You're the one with the positive claim that we're trying to sparse through.
Goodness.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to formalize your argument to get it to the point where we can examine if the premises are true or false. Because do you know what the difference between a valid and sound argument is?
Probably not.
Yeah, soundness is when the argument is both. It's all the premises follow. Wait, I'm sorry. The conclusion follows from the premises, and they happen to be true as well.
Yeah. So right now, your conclusion doesn't follow from your premises. Just like if we were to formalize it, Blah put it in formal logic. So we can't even really talk about whether or not the premises are true. Like, you're trying to get us on whether or not we agree with premise one, but your whole argument is invalid. So it doesn't really matter if your premises are true or not, because your conclusion doesn't follow from them.
This could be an issue with how I'm wording it. Then I don't think that.
Well, yes, word it better.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't think that. Like, so you guys disagree with the claim that Ibram Kendi is making, because that's basically what I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make the claim that
I literally don't. I don't even know what it means.
You don't know what it means.
Like we
If
just
we
went
truly
over
believe that all humans are equal, then disparity in condition can only be the result of systemic discrimination.
Wait, yeah, I don't need to care
Individual
about
to
what that sentence is because I don't agree with the first. Like it says if humans were all completely equal, and I don't think anyone here thinks that humans are all completely equal. So I don't even give a fuck. Like if you said if all humans could fly, then Boeing would be out of business. Like that might even be like a valid argument or whatever. But no one would give a fuck about it because humans can't fly.
All right.
There's an.
I know a way to around this. Okay, so.
Okay.
Do you guys think that cognitive ability is a function of how well you? Well, I'm sorry, that success in life is a function of your cognitive ability?
No.
No, not necessarily.
It would not be a function. Yeah.
Yeah, no. If you're born, like, if your dad is a billionaire, then it doesn't really matter how dumb you are. You're gonna be fine.
It's generally correlated with cognitive.
Okay,
ability.
wait. Generally correlated, so it's not categorical.
Also, is cognitive ability synonymous with IQ?
Okay.
You think cognitive ability? Actually, let's make it IQ. G, the G factor. Okay?
Oh, G is complete bollocks.
Okay. Do you think that is associated, correlatively speaking, with life outcomes, like successful life outcomes, successful events that occur in a person's life? In terms of,
did you say successful white outcomes?
Oh,
wait. I literally don't know. I would say not necessarily. Like, you can have a very high IQ and be very mentally ill. Like, I don't know, not necessarily.
like I said, correlative. Okay, that doesn't mean outliers don't exist. I'm not disputing.
Okay, yes, it seems to correlate. Sure, we can see that.
Well, actually, there's plenty of data that backs it up. That is.
Yes. It seems to correlate statistically. What's your point?
Okay. Next is, do we agree that cognitive ability on average differs between races?
No.
Not biologically. No.
Yeah, I like reject like your even like.
Wait, do we? Wait, hold on. Do disparities exist at all in cognitive ability, or is it because of, or is it only, or they do exist because of the environment? Is that what you're saying, or what is it exactly? Are there no disparities in cognitive ability?
What do you mean by races?
Come on, bro. Come on.
White, black. Actually, a good question.
So by races you mean come on, bro? Okay, cool. I'm not really familiar with that.
Come on, man. We're just gonna act like Biden. Come on, man. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so you know what I mean by racist? White, black.
Do you know what you mean by races?
Yeah, I do. White,
then can you tell me?
Black Lives Matter know what a black person is? I think they do.
Am I?
Maybe.
Wait. Are you talking about Black Lives Matter right now?
Jeez,
you might break your neck if you pivot that hard.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. This is like. So, I'm gonna ask the question again because we got derailed. I'm gonna ask the question again because we got derailed. So we agree on one thing. We agree that life outcome correlates with cognitive ability. We all agree there. But who agrees that cognitive ability differs between races?
Maybe if you define what races means, I might agree or disagree with it. I'm not sure.
I would also say not necessarily. Like,
you can also
not
take
necessarily
down this argument easier.
Commonly used definitions of white, black, etc. People who identify as white, black, Asian, etc. Okay?
Can we use the Brazilian races, or do you have to use the American ones?
Wait, yeah, am I a different race because I'm Jewish? Like, I don't know what you mean by races. These aren't commonly like decided.
Well, they differ by ethnic groups as well, but let's start with races for now because that's the crux of what we're talking about. Okay.
Sure. So you said white, black, and something, and whatever else. Sure. So what constitutes someone as white? What constitutes someone as black, and so on and so on.
This is the crux. We should have well-defined terms because this is the crux of the argument.
Seriously, you're gonna ask me what a white person is?
Wait,
when you complain about white supremacy and white systemic racism and whiteness, you're gonna tell me that I don't know what a fucking white person is? Really?
Razorcore. Do you think that like
This
people
kind of
who, like,
disingenuity on the left is so stupid and shocking, and honestly, it makes me want
Wait, no, we're literally just asking you to define a word that you're using.
Bad faith. It's bad faith as shit. You
Are
know
you done
exactly
bitching
what I'm
yet?
talking about.
Are you done?
When I recruit a white person, you know
Why
exactly.
you Burger, calm
I know
down.
exactly
It's okay,
who
mate.
Black
You're
Lives Matter is
okay.
talking
You're
about when
okay,
they
buddy.
refer
I'm
to
sorry
Black
we
lives.
bullied you so hard. I'm so sorry. Please calm down.
No, Razorcore. Like legitimately, do you think Brazilians and Argentinians are
This is
white?
such a
Do you think
stupid
Do
argument.
you
If
think
you want to get
Ashkenazi Jews are white?
guys, if you want to
No,
get
these
by
people.
and just quit with the bullshit, then message me again. But don't pull this shit on me again.
Would you like to answer any of my questions?
When I talk
Alright,
about
everyone calm down. I wanna
and what does too. Okay.
Alright, everyone
Believes
calm
in the
down. I
white
need to ask
race, doesn't
Razor,
even know
shut
what
up.
it is.
Shut
Okay,
up.
Vox,
Razor.
go ahead.
This is
Razor.
yeah, Black Lives Matter.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out. So, are you saying is race either an aesthetic or is it a culture?
What the fuck are you on about, old man? What are you doing?
Like, is it some? Are you saying that it's something that can be visibly observed or something that's based off of a culture?
Of course, it's visibly observed. Yes.
All right. So you're saying that it's like the genetic markers which make up, like say like what determines like the melanin in your skin or
So
the
are
like
Brazilians
the
and
average position
Argentinians,
of your
are they
nose
white?
and things like that, right?
Razorcore. Are
Bone
Brazilians and
structure. I mean, we
Argentinians
know
white?
a person's race just by a skull examination or hair examinations and earwax. I mean, like this is so.
Razorcore, I'm asking you a very,
Because what
very
we're doing
simple
right now is
question.
just
Are
playing-
Brazilians and Argentinians white?
Okay. You're playing the social constructivist game.
So,
Okay.
Razorcore, I'll make this easy for you. So, I'm an immigrant, I wasn't born in America, and I have a completely different view of race than Americans do. For the longest time, I wouldn't consider myself black, but most of these people do. So now tell me, am I black or not, and what makes me
I
black?
don't know. I'd love to see you. I don't know.
I'm on cam.
He's literally on cam. He's literally on cam.
Let's see. All right. Who's talking?
Black Caligula, the black guy.
The not
Even
white
he
guy.
hesitated. He even hesitated when he said the black guy.
Yeah, you look black to me. Yeah.
Okay, so why am I black?
You look
What makes
fine.
me black? Because I wouldn't
What is your-
consider myself black for the longest time.
Do you have any African ancestry?
Fuck do I know? I haven't taken a 23andMe.
We all have African ancestry. That's where civilization started, or humanity started.
Okay. Do you have any substantial African ancestry? Tell me.
Again, I don't know. I haven't taken
Also define
23andMe.
substantial.
I don't know
Like what
what
percentage
quantity.
does
You
it line up?
appear to be a American black person to me. You look like you have probably some admixture of whiteness in you, because that's what most African Americans have in them. Okay. Yeah, so that's what it looks like to me. This kind of caramel tin. Yeah. You're mixed race. I'd consider you mixed race. Yeah.
Blah. Let me ask you, how many white people in the Dominican Republic?
I just
What do you
like
mean by white?
I don't know like why are we getting bogged down in this? Like everyone knows
because the
what
crux,
I'm talking about.
as you said, Razorcore, the crux of the discussion depends on race. So if you can't define it, then how can we even talk about it?
This is such a stupid argument. Everyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
No,
when
they
I talk
don't
to a
though,
white
because
guy.
that's what Blah
Yeah,
is
they
trying to
do.
explain to you. Wait,
Do you
Razor, that's
think
what Blah's
that
trying to
Black
explain
Lives,
to you.
dude? Okay.
Nick,
You think
the Blah.
I have
Remember,
a
Blah
question.
just told you that he
Does
doesn't consider
Black
himself
Lives
black.
Matter? Does Black Lives Matter know who a black person is? Do they know who a black person is?
What the hell does
What
this
is
have
this
to do with this
pivot?
discussion?
any of us
Yeah,
Black
what
Lives
does it have to
Careful of your
do?
neck.
No, I'm asking
Who's
you
black?
because
Wait,
they
put
make
up your
it about
hand if
race.
your Black Lives
They're
Matter.
saying that people of a certain race's lives matter. Okay, of a particular race, lives matter. That's what it is, and they're saying that race is black. So who are black people? I don't know who they are.
Yeah, that's a really good
according to
question,
your
Razor
definition.
Core, because Blah said he
Wait,
wouldn't
Razor-
consider himself black, but you said you would. So that's kind of funny, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I bet money this guy has African ancestry. I bet money on it. Okay.
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Yeah, you look white to me. What's up?
Okay. I have 70% Middle Eastern DNA.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do, buddy. I'm sure.
Wait,
you do.
yeah, I'm fucking Jewish, dude. Like, yeah, like that's where we fucking came from. Like, are
Wait,
we?
Yeah,
wait,
because
wait,
Jews.
wait,
Oh,
what's wrong
you're
with your hair,
Jews.
though,
Oh. Yeah, you look white. Okay, so you're yeah. Jews tend to look a lot pretty white. I would say that. Yeah.
Am I
He's
white?
gonna be
'Cause
super
I don't
confused
have,
when he finds out what race I am.
European DNA. I don't have European DNA.
Are you like a Hispanic or something, old man?
I am.
I don't know.
I am 4 different races.
Right.
Sure.
Imagine
so,
being
like,
so mixed,
although
Chris.
Jew,
You're a fucking color palette.
although Jew looks white, is he white?
This conversation is derailed so far at this point. I mean,
The races that I'm comprised of.
I think you guys have pretty much sealed the deal on this one. I think.
No, you have to understand that we don't view race the same way that a lot of people do, because we understand that race isn't really a thing.
Another thing is like even if
I have plenty of.
Wait. So even if we were to accept that it's based on African heritage, where would you draw the line? Like what percentage? How would you like?
This is so irrelevant. It's almost.
Wait, no, but you said it's based on your ancestry. So what percent of your ancestry? Like how do we determine that?
Like we acknowledge that there are genetic markers. We do acknowledge that there are genetic markers that carry over from generation to generation, like how much melanin your body retains, and like the shape of your eyes and stuff like that. We acknowledge these differences, but the thing is that it's not something that is like exclusive to a particular race. Like, for example, there are other black people that historically exist on the planet that are not just from Africa.
You don't think basically a race is an interbred group who's been evolutionarily basically segregated, and geographically separated from other groups? Okay, they've undergone evolutionary divergence through long periods of separation from other groups. That's what races are. Okay, and if
it's adapting. Yeah, we're all the same race. We're just adapting.
I can't go ahead because Fox is arguing with the Nazi. Right?
We're actually different subspecies. Okay, that's what they are. Okay, races are subspecies.
Literally just mute them, right? Because this is so. I agree with Razor that this is so fucking stupid. Can we just assume that it's self-identification and move on?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no! Wait, Razor, is it okay?
This is what I'm getting at. Whoever just said that, I am totally in agreement with you.
Because
I mean, everyone knows what the fuck
I got a good argument here.
Because my brain is so fucking big, dude. You can't even handle it.
So Razor, it's self-identified, right?
No shit. You think Black Lives Matter knows who a black person is? I think they do.
Okay, so wait, let's
shut the fuck up and see this point before I strangle you.
So Razorcore, would you allow anyone that considers themselves to be white in your homogenous society?
Oh my god!
I have to take a look at them. Yeah.
Well, no. You said the definition was self-identification.
For the most part, self-identification it goes along with what you actually are. That's the thing.
No, it's self-identification.
Yeah, your self-identification of your race actually corresponds to your genetic ancestry. Yes, it does. It's very, very accurately portrays that. Right? So
if someone says I identify as a white person, do you allow them into your ethno state?
Are they a transracial person?
Well, you just said the definition of race.
What if it's like
self-identifies as one? So
no, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said that people's self-identification corresponds with their genetic lineage to a very, very high degree of accuracy. Okay.
I'm actually gonna fucking kill myself.
So Razor, I have a question for you. So Arendor, our friend Arendor, do you think he's white?
That's me.
Who the fuck is Arendor?
It's me.
So, yeah, you can go to the names, and it's ERINDOR.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at him, but all I see is E right now. So.
He's the one who looks like a taxi driver.
Do you know how to switch cameras?
I'm kind of a boomer. Hold on. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. No, just kidding. I hate boomers. Okay. They ruined our society. But
There's hope for him yet, boys.
Let's see. Wait, where's Arendor? Oh, he's not. Oh, trying to get him on cam.
The guy with the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
should I take a fucking screenshot?
Wait,
yeah, I think you need to because it's like it loads it for like a millisecond. I can't even look at him in time, and then it goes away.
I'll put it in VC General.
Fucking hell.
I'll put in VC Jarrett. There you go. Look at him. Look at that fucking thumb, dude.
Look at that white ass thumb.
VC channel 1. VC. Oh, I see this guy.
General 2.
Okay.
What?
I would say he probably has a good degree of European ancestry in him. Yeah.
Yeah, but does he count as white?
Yeah, I'd let him in my society if that's what you're asking. Yeah.
Amazing.
So.
How white is
Aaron Joel, you're going to be led into ethno state. How does it feel?
Hey,
Nice.
hey, Aaron.
The Brazilian national state.
Aaron Dor, can you speak your native tongue for me, please?
Ah, é claro que eu posso. Falo português. Sou brasileiro.
Alright.
Sounds really ethnic and disgusting to me.
Alright, let me ask you guys some
I
questions.
am
Let's try to
being
wrap this up. Let's try to wrap this up. Okay, we can continue this another day if you guys are having fun. But let's try to wrap this up. What are your positions on BLM right now? Right now, what are your
I think that
positions on
Black
BLM?
Lives Matter. I agree that Black Lives Matter. Do you think
No, I'm
that
talking about the movement in general. I could agree with that. I'm talking about the movement. Okay, the
So you're talking about a
organization, the
position on
movement.
the 4,200 protests?
Yeah, what's going on right now? What do you think about them?
I'd say it's pretty good. I think it's bad that there is a lot of crackdown on basically non-violent protesters.
Wait, what about the looting though?
What about the Inferno in Kenosha? What do you guys think about the burning and the
The
looting?
Inferno?
I think
Yeah, there
calling it
was an Inferno, yes.
I think if you
Yes,
really cared
quite
about
literally.
infernos, then you would
Is
try to
that in
combat climate
technical
change.
terms?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I think it's very hyperbolic to call it an inferno, right?
They
Like, if-
literally set fire to an entire car dealership.
yeah,
what are you
that's not an
talking about?
inferno. What?
I consider that to be an inferno, okay?
Then you
Wait,
have
so
a
why
garbage
do you wait?
definition of an
That's
inferno.
not the point. That's not the point. Why is this justifiable behavior in your regard? Like, why is this okay?
I don't think it is.
You don't think it is. So, do you have issues with Black Lives Matter then, or are you totally 100%?
Wait, are you asking us if we have issues with burning down a car dealership or the movement, one of the largest movements in American history? Because these are two very different questions.
No, because BLM is complicit in the burning down of this car
but they're
dealership
not.
and the looting in
No,
Kenosha.
protesters are.
You
BLM
have to understand that. All
Come
right,
on,
you do
bro,
have to.
come
You
on.
need to understand that a lot of the people are using BLM to like they're using it as an opportunity to rob these stores.
Okay, cool.
They're using so they're
Fox,
not
please.
they're not exactly with BLM. All right, those are just people. Those are just opportunists. Don't let a few bad actors ruin the entire.
You bad
portion of what the
Black
movement's
Lives, when we're
for.
talking about Black Lives
doesn't.
Matter, we're
You
talking
mean
about a movement of
hundreds or
15 to 26 million people.
Razor, I'm really curious.
Oh,
so, like,
God.
when we're talking about a movement or any sort of organization, anything like that, if they do like one bad thing, do you then have to disavow them completely and not support anything they
It's
do?
not one bad thing. It's every city they
no,
go
no,
to,
no,
burn,
no, no, no,
it's
I'm asking.
looted
So,
and burned.
so wait.
That's
Answer
really
that
what it
question.
comes down to.
So one bad thing, right?
It's
So
not one bad
what's
thing.
the threshold? Well, yeah.
All right, you're
Answer the
getting muted. I'm muting you. I can tell you're horrible faith. You're muted. Okay.
What?
Okay,
What
so
a
I'll
pussy.
ask the question. Okay. Rachel,
Get
so what he was
wrecked.
asking.
I just
So what he was
explained it to him, man. I just explained it to that kid, and he's not understanding.
Kid
He just
of
wants to be
Okay,
sarcastic.
so we're talking about a movement that's
Get
had literally
wrecked, Jim.
thousands of protests and has millions of members. Do we have to disavow the entire movement because they burned down a car dealership?
It seems like these people attract a lot of unsavory characters. There's no disputing that. Do we agree with that?
I would dispute that heavily.
you-
There's
hang on,
15 to
hang on.
26 million people in this movement, and you can think of probably like a few select instances, right? We're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions of people.
Let's not pretend it's just a few people too. It's we have mobs of 50 plus people in certain areas that are leading
What's
stores.
15 divided by 15 million?
Listen,
15 divided by 15 million. What percentage is that?
There are fine people on both sides, folks.
Shut up, Vox.
Yeah, +1 on that. Shut up, Fox. Actually.
Yeah, that's 3 to 10 times the power of -6.
All right, so what about Antifa? What about Antifa?
Totally statistically insignificant.
If you guys
What
don't
about
want to take,
Antifa?
you want to go? Yeah, what about Antifa? Tell me.
Yeah, I'm an
terrorist organization.
anti-fascist. I'm an anti-fascist. Are you an anti-fascist, or do you like fascism? Like which? If you had to say pro or anti-fascism,
Now you
where
care
would you
about
sit?
binaries.
Where would you sit in between pro and anti-fascism, Razorcore?
Wait, did you just say now you care about binaries?
Yeah, I'm just being an ass. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, I didn't realize it was you being a fucking dumbass. I thought it was Razor being a fucking
No,
dumbass.
I'm sorry. No, that was me.
Okay, Razorcore. So on the topic of Antifa, on the topic of anti-fascism, if you had to pick pro-fascism or anti-fascism,
I don't answer
where would you
loaded
sit?
questions like that. I don't answer loaded
Wait,
questions.
how is it a loaded question?
Because the anti-fascists of today are frankly fascists. Okay.
That's the
so
that's
basically,
the Winston
language
Churchill
is
quote, right?
super arbitrary.
Actually,
and I don't
I
really.
thought they said that he didn't actually say that, but
That was never said to anyone ever. That's made up.
well, somebody came up with it, obviously, but you know,
Yeah.
it does happen to be true. It does happen to be true.
Wait,
It doesn't
Razorcore,
happen to be true.
Razorcore, what is fascism? Do you have like a definition?
Well, according to the left, it's just Donald Trump. I mean, it's not,
No, your definition. What is your definition of fascism?
We also don't call Donald Trump a fascist.
I don't know.
He's
something along the lines of what's happening in North Korea. How about that?
What is your definition of fascism?
What is your definition of fascism?
No,
What's your
what's your
definition of
definition
fascism?
I'm asking you.
I gave you an example of a fascist.
Do you not have a
system.
definition for it, and that's why like you're?
Because we can help you understand.
I guess it's a pro-nationalist, sadist, authoritarian government. It's something like that. I would say.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what about Antifa is pro-nationalist, statist, or authoritarian? Which of those three things
They
does
engage in a
Antifa?
lot of authoritarian action. I wouldn't say they're statist.
What authoritarian action do they engage in?
They engage in political assassination, as evidenced last night.
What about that?
God damn, we should have had this conversation yesterday.
Authoritarianism is like a form of government characterized by strong central power. So political assassinations has nothing to do with authoritarianism.
Antifa is a strictly decentralized movement.
Yep.
All right. Oh.
And you also said that Antifa wasn't nationalist or statist. So then how is Antifa?
Mobbings and assaults and they assault people, they mob people, they
Yeah, sure.
What
That's
about
not
that?
like inherent to.
they commit arson and destruction in the streets.
What about
and
that?
they-
Sure, that's
National,
not.
statist, or
They,
authoritarian?
they blind federal officers with lasers.
Razorcore, I'm asking you a very simple question. What about that is nationalist, statist, or
I
authoritarian?
told you it's authoritarian. It's definitely authoritarian. They have zero.
People who
There's
aren't
zero
authoritarian
tolerance
can do
for
that as
dissent.
well.
They have zero
So-
tolerance for political dissent, so that's why they carry
That's
out
not
political
true.
assassinations, like what happened in
So,
Portland. Oregon last
Razorcore, can you shut the fuck up, please? E, can you give us a definition of authoritarianism again?
It's a form of government characterized by strong central power and limited political freedoms.
Okay. What about Antifa has a strong central power, Razorcore?
They seem to be united in their efforts. I don't know what you're talking about. So
What about that? Wait. How is
themselves
united a
decentralized,
central
but in reality, they actually are very united in their efforts. So,
all right.
No,
Do you
they
have
can't
all anarchists.
Not united.
All right, I'm gonna be more responsible now. Give me a second here, guys. All right. So Razorcore, I want to know who told you this.
Andy, no.
Simple.
That's Andy, no.
Who gave you this information that this is a fascist regime, that Antifa is fascist? Is it, or is it just the assumption because
I'm
of
using
their?
that term loosely, okay?
All right.
And frankly, this kind of deconstructionism routine, where you guys know what I'm talking about, but you guys want to actually, deconstruct every little word and definition. Really,
Fuck, I
like
really
legitimately don't know. When you say something like Antifa are the real fascists, and then like that really doesn't make any.
Saying that in a colloquial sense, in a sort of common parlance sense, they act like people who are basically out for mayhem. They want to subvert all authority and hierarchy.
How is subverting authority and hierarchy authoritarian?
Oh my god!
I'm not saying it, like I said, this deconstruction routine. I'm saying it in a colloquial sense that they're acting badly. They're acting.
Will you admit they're not fascists?
They're in a criminal manner. Okay.
Will you admit they're not fascists? Razorcore, will you admit they're not fascists then?
I think you need to understand that it's very postmodern of you to ask him to have consistent definitions for words.
I'm postmodern as fuck.
Razorcore. Would you admit they're not fascists then?
I mean,
You
okay,
could say
I'll
they're
admit,
bad.
yeah, I'll
That
actually
thing.
admit, I'll admit they're not. Okay, so they're not fascists. I use that in
Okay.
the colloquial term. I have to remember to be very precise with my words here because you guys will.
Yeah,
run
you
the-
should. You should be precise with your words
Okay.
because we're very precise with our
Well,
words.
because you run the deconstruction routine on me, which is really gay and cringe, and we don't actually get anywhere with the arguments.
Fuck, you know what, Razorcore? It really fucking
Huh?
bothers me when I say shit, and then people point out that what I said wasn't true, and then like they just deconstruct my
Yeah,
argument.
because you know exactly what I'm talking about, and instead you want to feel
If
smart
you
rather than
say Antifa are fascists, then no, I don't know what you're talking about. Your like sentences don't make sense.
All right, let me reiterate because you don't like the definition. I'll take that aside. Right?
Okay.
Forget about the word fascist, okay?
Okay.
They're a
What about
Marxist
authoritarian?
Shut up. They're a Marxist revolutionary organization that hates
Are
America.
they anarchists or are
okay?
they Marxists?
I would say that their constituency is both for the most part. It's a congruence of both. There's probably open Marxists in there, and there's probably open anarchists and people who have tendencies for both in there.
Is there something wrong with Marxism?
Of course.
Yeah, maybe the fact that it killed 100 million people. That might be
Amazing. Imagine it exists mentally deficient.
You know, Razorcore, you know what we're gonna ask next?
100 million. I guess you don't have.
Yeah, you know that 2 billion people died in India due to capitalist intervention.
Oh, man.
I can
2
actually
billion. There's
do a
only
study
like
on that.
1 billion people in India today. What? How's
Go
that
live in your
possible?
Oh wait, no, the long-term effects of famine. The long-term effects of the famine led to mass deaths for the last 200 years.
Okay.
Take the nearest
Yeah, like
flight to go take the nearest flight there. I'm sure you'll love it there. Okay? Go there.
Imagine being this brain damaged.
So
If you don't like it, leave in an argument.
yeah, that is an argument. It actually 100% is an argument. If you don't like the
it
system,
isn't.
then go live in a system that you like.
Oh yeah, you know, if you have a fucking leaky asshole, just cut off your torso. Makes sense.
Alright, so I think we can all listen. Razor, I believe like I'm sure like even we would have criticisms of like how Antifa has conducted themselves in particular situations, right? But I wouldn't classify any of the situations as fascist. But
Well,
I would
fascist
say
is an
I
ideology,
retract
not like a
that.
protest.
I retract the wording because you guys are deconstructionists. So
yeah, no, well, yeah. Well, it's important because like fascist is a very important term for the left, considering they.
We're past that.
Yeah. All right. So we're past that. So when it comes down to it, like, yeah, there are some criticisms. Like with BLM, there are some criticisms you can make, but don't use like a few, like just like how I hope at least that the leftists here would not use a few bad actors to paint an entire position. Right, guys?
Yeah, no, I would never use
Yeah,
a few
guys.
bad
You bet.
actors.
I think I think the crux of the argument is, I'm going to use that word again, crux. Okay, the crux of the argument here is, the crux of our contention here and why we're never going to agree on this is, you guys think a few bad actors is hundreds of actors.
Hundreds
or
out of
thousands
millions is a few.
Yeah, in comparison to the whole, yeah.
Right, so you guys make it seem like there's 3 bad actors and there's 4 people.
Oh, but instead there's 100.
Wait,
Yeah,
if
that's
it
not that
was
many more.
5,000, if it was 5,000 out of 50 million, that's still
Actually,
a very small amount.
It's like everything that these people go to, they cause mayhem. Everywhere they go. Minneapolis.
Not true. There's been more than 4,000 protests done by BLM.
Denver, I mean, they go everywhere you go. It's a shit show. Okay,
That's a really
So
dumb thing
Razorcore.
that you have, but it's not true.
Razorcore, why is it that when I marched in Kansas City for Black Lives Matter, it was completely peaceful until the police showed up and started using CS gas? Which, if you think that it's a war, then CS gas is a war crime. That they came in and started like throwing CS gas at us and making us disperse. We were completely peaceful prior to that.
Right, I'm sure that was the case. So CNN said, fiery but peaceful protests in Kenosha. So I'm sure your definition of peaceful is very accurate. Fiery.
Oh wait,
am I CNN?
That was a headline on CNN on the news.
We know you love
Yeah, no,
headlines.
that's
We
the
know you
headline,
love headlines, buddy. But
Razorcore, were you under the impression? Razorcore, this could make a lot of sense. Okay, I'm sorry. We might have were you under the impression that I worked for CNN? Is that what the problem was?
No, I'm saying that your definition of peaceful is very, very suspect. Okay.
wait, no, it's not. Why don't you ask us what our definition is?
What is your definition of peaceful?
So the protest
Well,
I went
according to
to,
CNN,
was
it's infernos at car dealerships. So that's
oh wait, oh so you do think I work for CNN? No, it's really cool. I don't work for CNN. I actually work in
I don't
sales.
care if you work for CNN. You not understand an example? Holy shit!
Wait, what is it an example of? What I'm talking about?
Leading
No.
us with CNN though. That's
That because of CNN's position or their consideration for the term peaceful, y'all's position,
I don't
and that's
like
really
CNN.
suspect, a fiery fucking inferno, which they consider to be peaceful. What do you consider to be peaceful? People who are ostensibly left of even CNN. I gotta wonder.
I'm gonna ask.
I'll tell you what I consider peaceful. I'll tell you the
Go ahead.
protest I went to. I did not see anyone break anything. I did not see anyone punch anything. There was just a lot of walking around and a lot of chanting. And then the cops showed up and started shooting CS gas to get us to leave.
All right. So
let me ask you something.
listen. I'm gonna ask. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why'd you go to that protest? Tell me. Why'd you go to the protest?
So first of all, I'm a very big fan of the First Amendment, and within the First Amendment is the right to peacefully assemble and peacefully
I'm not
protest.
disputing that. I'm just asking why you're doing it.
Okay. I'm telling you. I really like the First Amendment. I see a lot of racial injustice in America. I see a lot of statistics relating that cops are disproportionately, or black people are disproportionately being jailed and sentenced and killed by cops and everything. And I wanted to go out and I wanted to be a part of a large gathering of people who are exercising our First Amendment and telling the government and the powers that be that we are not happy with the current situation that's going on and that we would like change.
I'm not happy with the current situation of black crime. I would like.
Well, then
change.
you should peacefully demonstrate. You should go together and get your other Nazi friends.
marijuana.
I would tell them if they cared about black lives, then they should be more concerned about what's going on in the inner cities than police violence.
I am. Okay, wait. Can I tell you what I'm doing in the inner cities?
Yeah, considering the inner city black on black crime has claimed 300.
So we can fix that, dude. It's really easy to fix that. So first off, all we have to do is we have to
wipe out all the white people. Is that how you fix it? And then
no, that's not it. I'll tell you. That's not Razorcore. Chill. It's really easy. So the first thing we can do is we can end the war on drugs. We can decriminalize and legalize marijuana, and first off, that will cut down on a fuck ton of gang violence because most of what they're gang violencing is about drug drug territories and stuff. And then we can just invest money into their schools and their areas so that they can grow up. And if we end up war on drugs, then we won't be arresting their fathers, so their fathers will be able to raise the kids. And if we invest money in their infrastructure and their schools, then they'll be able to be raised in a 2-parent home. We stand the nuclear family in this house, by the way. We love the nuclear family. We want black people to have nuclear families too, so that they can go to good schools that we invest money in, and then they'll have the similar experiences as white people, and they'll stop committing crimes. It's really easy, dude. I love.
You realize that school variables like school quality and school choice and et cetera, they only account for about in school funding rather. They only account for about 10 to 15% of the variance in academic outcome. Okay.
Do you have any studies to substantiate
I'm
what
fairly
you're saying?
sure this study got debunked pretty heavily.
Do you have any studies to substantiate what you're saying, Razorcore?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'd love to see them.
Hey guys, I don't know if you knew this, but I have a pretty interesting statistic that has to do with black people and disproportionate things.
Nah, we're good.
Is it 10 minutes to 2 in the afternoon?
What now?
No.
Oh shit! That's a good one. Oh shit!
Yeah, I told you. I have the biggest brain, dude.
You got to think about that one for a couple minutes.
For years.
It's a good one.
I'm looking for it right now.
You're welcome.
My brain's too small. Do you not understand joke?
Hey, Vox, what's 10 minutes to 2? But, written in 24-hour clock?
10 minutes to 2?
Yeah.
That's
so Razorcore. Are you still under the impression that human races are subspecies?
Is 250? But I don't understand the joke.
No, what? No.
Well, 10 minutes to 2 is
250
to 150. First of all.
No, Fox in military time.
Oh, I don't know military time.
So are you
Wait,
aware of what an
what?
FSD is, Razorcore?
Yes.
You're aware of what like a fixation index is?
Yes.
Okay, so what would the
Nice.
fixation index for humans be?
Isn't FSD a function of genetic distance?
Yes, that's what the Google says. So could you tell me what the FSD of humans is?
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell me?
It's 0.119.
0.119. Okay.
Yep.
So what are you gonna add?
So what do you think the FST requirement is to split something into subspecies?
Well, actually, it's less than that.
It isn't.
It is because there's species that have an FSD value lower than that, and they have recognizable subspecies.
So they don't. There are a lot of subspecies that are debated on that it might be below that, but that's because different people use different subspecies concepts. But if you're talking broadly, then no, that would kind of not get something split into subspecies. Hence why dog breeds. For example, excuse me, Razorcore.
Threshold for this, you understand that?
Razorcore, excuse me. Hence why for excuse
me. You're acting like you know about the topic, but you don't know. You're saying that there's a threshold, but it's not actually a threshold.
Slow down. No need to get mad. Okay. So for dog breeds, you think those are an example of subspecies?
Sure.
You think dog breeds are an example of subspecies? All dog breeds which all exist as part of Canis lupus familiaris.
Yes.
So Canis lupus familiaris, a subspecies, you think has more subspecies below it?
Harry Potter makes more sense now.
Let's see. Let's look at the taxonomy chart.
This is like Professor Lupus from Harry Potter.
Can you say that one more time, Razorcore? What did you call it?
The taxonomy rank.
Professor Lupus is a wolf.
So let's take a look. Oh, one thing. Since we're talking about the race thing now, instead of outcome disparities.
Oh, well,
This was just my question. This is all I'm interested in. So Razorcore, what do you think the definition of subspecies is?
The genetic clustering, as far as I'm aware, there's not a concrete definition of it.
Well, almost every subspecies concept is going to be based on geographic isolation.
It's been used interchangeably. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Genetic clustering is a function of geographic isolation over periods of time.
That would just make any cline a subspecies. So obviously that would be a silly definition. So we have to do it based on like based on geographic isolation. And obviously that isn't the case for humans.
What are you talking about? We've undergone geographic isolation for tens of thousands of years until globalism happened.
There's more geographic isolation between different people in Africa due to like technological advancements than there are when you compare like them to every other person in the world.
I don't know. Why don't you repeat that and make your point?
So my point is that if there's more variance in Africa than there is amongst all of the people outside of Africa, and that would show that there's probably not enough genetic variation amongst those people outside of Africa to split them into subspecies. Unless you're also going to start splitting Africa into different subspecies. Like you'd have to have like not black people as a subspecies, but you'd have to have like different types of black people.
That doesn't follow. Sorry.
It does.
No, it doesn't. How does that follow exactly?
I think it's
what subspecies concept did you use to determine that races were subspecies?
They've been used interchangeably as such. So
okay, I asked you what subspecies concept you used. Do you know what a subspecies concept is?
Sure. What is it?
You said sure, so you should know what it is.
Asking you, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? Why don't you ask me?
I'm looking for what subspecies concept you use.
Okay, what are you talking about? Go on. I gave you my definition. Okay, I'm saying that they've been used. Race and subspecies have been used interchangeably in the field of biology for decades. So
okay, so subspecies concept might be like a bit of a foreign term to you, but what about species concept? You know what that is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I asked you like what is Ernst Mayr's species concept, you'd be able to tell me what that is, right?
What the fuck are you talking about? I know what a species is, if that's what you're asking me.
No. I'm asking you.
I'm not knowing you because we're not getting to the point.
There's
Why
no
don't
reason
you
to
put
get.
it?
There's no reason to have a little moment over this. Okay.
All right.
I'm
So
just asking.
get to your point quickly. Okay.
You would know what a species concept is, correct? You
No,
know.
I don't know what you mean by concept in this regard. No, I don't know what that means.
Okay. So a concept in biology is like it's basically the taxonomic definition of one of these words. So for species, the most common species concept you'd find is Ernst Mars, which is that species is based on ability to interbreed and create fertile offspring consistently.
That's the species concept. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So okay, so what is your subspecies concept?
I don't think there is a orthodox position on this.
So there's not an orthodox position on a species concept. There's just one that has consensus around it. People use different ones in different contexts. Like for example, for asexual species, you
So I
would use
don't know.
right?
For the subspecies one, I don't think there's an orthodoxy around that one either.
So that's my point. It's not about orthodoxy. It's about like having one, literally any one. If you want to have a definition for this word, you have to have a definition for it.
I use it interchangeably with race. That's what I use it, and that's not actually. It's not factually inaccurate to do so. If you look at the realities of genetic clustering in human beings, I mean, by geographic.
Let's not pretend like you're well versed in genetic clustering, right?
Then why are you asking me about genetic clustering? Yeah, okay, this is like okay. I'm not
I'm asking you to substantiate your point, Razorcore. I know you're getting really mad.
No, because you're trying to give me a bio lesson when you don't know anything. Okay.
Okay. Well, I know what a species concept is, right? And you didn't, right? So you should be able to follow.
Wow.
No, wow. I know you're getting really mad, Razorcore, but it's not that big.
You're about to get muted if you don't get to your point. Okay.
Okay. My point is that you're wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Wait, really? How am I wrong? Tell me.
I just explained to you why you're wrong. You have no consistent.
No, I actually don't have a fucking clue why I'm wrong. Actually,
we know you don't.
If you don't know what a subspecies is, Razorcore, then you can't say that races are subspecies. If you say that the race is defined as subspecies,
they've been used interchangeably for decades. The terminology has been used interchangeably.
Well, it hasn't. That's not true. Human races have not been used interchangeably with subspecies because there's no sensible subspecies concept that could be used taxonomically that would line up to humans. That would line up to human races.
That's not the case.
It is.
I can actually find studies on this stuff.
Wait. Can wait. So, Razorcore. So, Synthesis said that there is no subspecies concept that can be used to taxonomically categorize human races into different subspecies, and you told him that is not true. Can you then provide a subspecies concept that can be used to taxonomically divide different human races into different concepts or subspecies?
Again, so you're asking me to do something that you haven't even made a point for.
Wait, no. So he said you can't, and then you just said you can. If you can you do that?
I'm saying that races or subspecies and these terms have been used interchangeably for decades. How is this difficult?
Okay, I'm gonna do this. We'll do this again then. So Synthesis said that there's no subspecies concept that can be used to taxonomically divide human races into different subspecies. You told him that's not true. So can you provide him with a subspecies construct or concept that can be used to taxonomically divide different human races into different subspecies?
I'm sorry?
Okay. Third time.
Give a definition of subspecies that would.
You're just boring the fuck out of me right now. I already gave you my.
Hey, dude, it's
the
really
Molyneux
boring
escape.
when people. It is the Molyneux escape, actually. So I can say this for the third time. So
I mean, let's go back to the FSD thing because there's species that have. No, because this is actually really important because there's actually species that have a higher FSD value than human. I'm sorry, a lower FSD value than human beings, and they have identifiable subspecies.
So are these identifiable subspecies things that are sort of like consensus within biology, or are they ones that are like hotly debated?
No, they're consensus.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. It's not politically incorrect to say there's subspecies. Look, stop. It's not politically contentious to say that there's subspecies in non-human animals. No one has an issue with that.
It's not politically contentious, but it'd be biologically contentious.
No, it's not at all. Actually, we know
there are a lot of taxonomists who reject the biological basis for subspecies as a whole. They're not the majority, but they do exist, and they are.
So you're saying, so it's not the majority, so it must be the majority actually agree subspecies exist. Okay, so thank you. All right.
Yeah, but none of them agree with your species, your subspecies concept, which is race. It's pretty like universally agreed upon, if we're appealing to consensus, that human races aren't biologically based in any way.
Unbased.
I mean, you can say like certain aspects.
They're not biologically based in any way, but we can determine someone's race from their earwax and from a single strand of. Yeah, they're not biologically based.
You can also determine somebody's race by their skin color, right?
It's just a construct, guys. Okay.
So if you can determine somebody's race by their skin color, that doesn't necessarily mean that these categories.
Most of the time you can. Most of the time you can. Not always, but most of the time you can.
So
Aren't you
failed
like
to do it
0 for
twice in this
3?
call. Yeah,
you're like 0 to 3, dude.
So
Yeah, you guys, there's a lot of mixed race people on this call. And they also, you asked me to do it over a camera, which is, you know.
So Razorcore, if you're making the most of the time you can argument about skin color, that would apply to earwax a lot more, because earwax is a lot more subject to sort of like random chance. It's not 100%.
What's the data on that? What about a single strand of hair? You can actually determine someone's race from a hair, one hair.
Not with absolute certainty with that either. So it's a most of the time.
Right, because race is a probabilistic function. That's why it's a probabilistic reality. That's why
it's a probabilistic function that is probably not hardline categories, correct?
So if you're asking, is there a single differentiating trait between races that I can point to?
No, that's not what I said.
Right, because no, actually that's entailed with what you said, because when you're asking for a category, you're asking for something that's innately exclusive.
So a
you're asking for something that can exclude. Okay.
A category doesn't necessarily have to be one trait. A category can be composed of multiple traits.
Right, and all the traits that don't fit within the category are excluded. Okay.
I'm not sure what you're saying here. It sounds like a word salad to me.
What are you asking me? Why don't you reiterate one more time?
You know what? I don't think we're gonna have any luck here.
All right.
So right as you were going somewhere, you decided to.
You weren't going anywhere.
How about you just?
It's okay. We're gonna change the subject now anyway. We're gonna change the subject now.
Oh wait, hold on, wait, one more thing. Wait, I want to get this guy to concede on at least one thing. I want you to concede on one thing: the FSD values. Okay. You realize when you guys were trying to point to, whoever tried to point to a specific threshold and said that the human FSD value in terms of for total genetic variation, is not high enough to warrant the use of races or subspecies existing. Okay.
Well,
and that's not the case, because we recognize subspecies in species that have.
We don't.
No, we do. No, animals that have.
There's absolutely no way to determine that there's consensus around any specific one of those.
I think if you're just going to cut me off, it's not worth talking. But
well,
you're
misrepresenting my position.
Yeah, because you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. That's why.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. I want to change the subject anyway because we're not getting any headway, and I think we can all agree that it's time to move on.
I'm going to say this one. I get the last word on this. Okay, you realize you're talking.
Yes, let him get the last word, please, for the love of God.
Someone tried to point to a threshold value for FSD, saying that humans do not meet the threshold value in order to warrant the use of subspecies to identify various humans, okay, or races. Now, if you look at other species, animals, tigers, there's certain tigers, for instance, that have less genetic variation than humans do, yet they have identifiable subspecies. So don't tell me that there's some threshold value that isn't being met. Okay, that's fake news. I don't know where you got it, and you're just trying to pull one over on me and to pull the wool.
We can talk about this like maybe tomorrow, next week, who knows? But we're gonna move on to another subject.
I don't want to like bring it back to this or anything. I just want to like just to be clear. He said tigers, right?
Yes, he said animals.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're gonna talk about trans rights now.
You know what? Maybe I should come back another day for this because I'm a little bit winded now. So I'll hit you up soon. Okay?
I appreciate you dropping by. I know it's a little hard. They were being a little harsh, but you know, sometimes you gotta break.
It's just anti-fascism. It's just a little good old anti-fascism is all it is.
Well, look, I'm happy that the communists got killed in the streets by Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm very happy. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm happy that the other guy died too. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, just like how you guys are happy that a Trump supporter got murdered in broad daylight.
Listen, we're also
it's not enough.
It was fucking nighttime, you retard.
Listen, we're also happy that Kyle killed those people. All right.
Yeah, we believe it was justified. Yep, we think it's justified, 100%. Yep.
That's interesting because Vosh doesn't think so. So I know Vosh.
Wait, who here is Vosh? Who here is Vosh?
Really, because you guys are virtually indistinguishable from Bosch in your political.
Oh well. Here's a really big distinction. Here's a distinction right here, buddy. We think the killings were justified. There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Bosch has bad takes. Bosch has bad takes too. All right.